Okay, hello. How are we doing today? Welcome back to Andromeda 6, and we are playing through the game. You can go find it for yourself on itch.io, and it will have a Steam release later on in the year. But yeah, this is a one of my favorite games. It's an absolute blast playing through. There are currently 6 out of 10 chapters released for the game, and it's a sci-fi story with you can romanceable options. We are doing the non-romance route, and if you would like to, romance any of these sci-fi babes yourself, I highly recommend you go and download it. They also have paid DLCs for the game as well, which I encourage you to go check out yourself. I will not be playing them on stream because the developers have asked for no one to stream it online, and to instead encourage people to play the content themselves, which I completely understand. But yeah, we will be diving right back into the game. I do have to get set up in the creator mode on Twitch on my tablet. Stream manager. Okay, fun. But yeah, we will be starting from chapter 4. We are heading to Cursa, crazy planet. We've learned lots of crazy things about ourselves, about our traveler. We are the lost royal, the youngest child of the king who was murdered by this usurper named Sovak. And it's very intense. We have a guard and our best friend from the past started chasing our tail. And yeah, it's gonna be fun. So we will dive right back into the game now. After sort of a long-winded lead-in there. Also, if you watched my When the Night Comes playthrough, they are actually releasing another DLC for the game later this month. I will again not be playing that on stream. But I am very excited for it. So if you want to check out the game, you can go and pre-order right now. It's like $2.99 USD, and yeah, you get like a fun little mini story for Halloween. I'm very excited. But yeah, as for this, we are entering sci-fi mode, spaceships, lasers, rebellions, royals, Andromeda 6. There are 3 things I know for sure. 1. I am the last remaining member of the Pegasus family and heir to the throne of Goldus, the only living threat to the Super King, Jez Zovak. You know what? Solaris, my traveler, is doing a way better recap than I am. 2. My only friend and closest companion has deceived and betrayed me, and in turn brought about the murder of my entire family. 3. He's also a vampire. I am lost and alone in this vast universe with no one to guide me or help me decide what to do next. The last week has been brutal. With the ship on course to Cursa, I have had more than enough time to reflect on the events of Terranium and try to come to terms with the life I find myself living. I'm afraid I'm not doing a very good job of it. I've cried so much and for so long I'm surprised my eyes haven't run dry yet. My days are torn between laying curled on my bed, staring at the wall blankly, or sobbing until so physically exhausted I can't tell what's real and what isn't. That was a swan moment for real. That's how the embers and obers go at the end of the year. And the nights are the worst. Faces haunt my dreams, beautiful and cold. My family, Nerissa. They whisper to me, cursing me, blaming me, and when I wake up screaming, nauseous and drenched with sweat, it's only to find I'm alone again. That was me last night. It was a rough night. Rough night with insomnia. Finally, I have to admit to myself, I'm not okay at all. Yeah, you know what? Solaris is going through it. Just when I think I can possibly cry any more tears, a fresh wave will start up. It's always triggered by something, a memory, a dark thought, a gesture from the crew. Also, it's very cute that they've added cute little things in. Though I haven't ventured out of my room more than a handful of times, I've been well cared for. Riona and Ayame have been bringing me meals, though I rarely eat more than a few mouthfuls. The both of them seeming more and more concerned with each day that passes. The captain stopped by to check up on me, and though I can safely say that comforting others is certainly not one of his greatest strengths, I appreciate the gesture. That's sweet. Listen, Cal is not great at doing it, but the fact that he's doing it anyway is very sweet. And every day I wake up and I'll find a new drawing from Bash stuck to the front door of my room. Drawings usually depict a certain assassin in various embarrassing situations, but as ridiculous as they are, they manage to make me smile. It's very cute. He said, listen, this is how I get Damon back for trying to sell you off to Zovek. Also, June hates us right now. June, literally, that cowboy has yeet his last haw. He's sick of us. June and Damon, I haven't seen. The more I think back on my last conversations with them, the more I find myself pulling their words apart. Shock and stress has turned me into a recluse. The more time goes by, the less I want to face the world. Maybe we're just supposed to be earning your keep. You know what? Our boss is Damon right now. If our boss was Cal, this would be fine. But the fact that our boss is Damon, maybe we chose wrong. My thoughts drift back to my meeting with Vex, and the more I think about it, the more confusing this situation becomes. He used me to find all of the secrets of the palace, and I can't stop thinking about the attack. It was all my fault. I mean, you didn't know. It's not your fault. You were being manipulated. Everyone to the bridge. We'll be coming up on Curse in a few hours, and we need to make sure we're prepared. I step onto the bridge, per the captain's orders, though I'm stopped in my tracks by a dark shadow cutting me off. Oh, God, what's a loser? I do love David. I feel like I have to say that every single episode. It's just constant. Me and David are at odds. I do love him, though. He's a very fun character in the fact that he is so challenging. And he really acts like, I don't know, especially like a fun foil for my, like, very sweet, non-confrontational, just emotional mess of a traveler. I think they need each other, and they're besties. By the end of this episode, they'll be besties. It's fine. Spoilers. Oh, by the way, this is not a spoiler-free stream. If you think any of my streams are spoiler-free, you are so wrong. But yeah. Hi, Damon. I gave Damon a tired look, a sign that I don't have the energy to play his games right now. Good morning, Your Highness. Ready for an adventure? As long as you sell me out before we get there. He puts a hand over his heart in mock offense, but I don't miss the grin that tugs at the corner of his lips. Would you believe me if I told you I've changed my ways? I swear it, as a man of honor. Absolutely not. I'm tempted to snort at the ridiculousness of his claim, but I hold it in. You don't have any honor, Damon. He stops and studies me, his smile fading. I might have been a little hasty. You think? You have to understand that the people on this ship, sure, they're a pain in my ass, but they're good as a family as I'll ever have. Wouldn't you do whatever it takes to protect the people you love? We're gonna be kind. And sacrifice another life in the process? What kind of royal would I be if I didn't think of others before myself? A smart one. I narrow my eyes and give him a firm look, thoroughly disagreeing. That kind of thinking got everyone into this mess in the first place. Damon huffs a laugh, stepping aside to let me pass as he says softly, "You're too good for us, Highness." I shift on my feet uneasily, raising an eyebrow at him. If this is your this is you trying to apologize, you're doing a shitty job of it. He snorts and flicks me on the tip of my nose playfully. All I'm saying is, it's your own choice. You want to sleep with one eye open, but you won't get any trouble from me. Thank you. Unless you ask for it. No, I do not. No, I do not. Stop trying to flirt with me. I'm not taking her out. I roll my eyes, pushing past him to join the others near the cockpit. Good, you're all here. Calderon addresses a group who stands around me, his mouth set in a grim line. We're not far from Cursa now, about 3 hours until we land. Besides Solaris, we've all been here before, so you know the drill. They just singled me out. I was locked in my room as a child. The crew nods and murmurs, so the captain directs his orders at me. Don't draw attention to yourself, carry a weapon at all times, and for the love of all things holy, don't take off anywhere on your own. You know what? That's fair. It's fair. I do tend to wander. But I don't have a weapon. I'm a pacifist. I did offer you one. Too bad you didn't take it, huh? No. Solaris is also stubborn, if you don't know. I wish you'd reconsider, but I'm not going to force you. After Curso, we can train yourself to be more comfortable with a weapon. It's important you know how to defend yourself. I'd rather not have to hurt anyone. Unfortunately, in places like this, it's either you or them. We have non-lethal options if that's what you prefer. I nod, agreeing to train with non-lethal options, and the two of them move on. Which is nice. It's nice that you can do that. I do hope there's, like, a little moment to, like, do, like, a switch turn. I don't know, I guess I imagine so much of, like, Solaris, like, so much, like, committing to that pacifist. Like, no, I would never hurt someone, not at the cost of someone else's life. There's never, like, a justification to kill someone, and then I hope we, like, straight up get to kill Zovak, I don't know, I feel like it would be, like, a fun resolution to their arc, in there. But that kind of, complements to the customization of this game, which is fun. You get to kind of choose, I'm making them very, kind and emotional, and they don't want to hurt anyone, but you can totally play, like, a badass if you want to, which is very fun. I have played this game multiple times, and I've chosen, like, the different routes and stuff, and romanced every character in the game, and it's fun to see, like, and even, like, the chance to, like, you'll notice that when you get the option to flirt, you also get two options, and you can either be a little bit more bold, or, a little more demure, is that the right word? Which is also fun, and it kind of changes the dynamics of your relationship with the characters. Alright, that's the game. Calderon continues giving out orders. It seems that everyone has a job to do on this ship. Except you. Everyone except me! Yeah. Damon, get our contact on the comms and have them prepare for our landing. Riona, we might be away from the ship for a while. I need you to make sure we have medical supplies with us. June, make sure we have enough ammo for the trip. And Bash, everything in the hold needs to be secure. It'll be a rough landing. Damon slinks away to do his order, with Bash following close behind him, but Riona remains, her forehead furrowed and her arms hugged around herself. You know I can't carry a gun, Calderon. I won't. I need you to, for your own protection and the crew's. But what if I can't control myself? You know what happened the last time She trails off and Calderon's face softens and he lets out a long breath. You can handle this, Riona. I know you can. I'm a healer, but... She says nothing, still looking as uncertain as ever, as June steps forward and places a hand on her shoulder. I've got something you can use. It's not lethal, but powerful enough to pack a punch. Riona hesitates, but when she finally nods her head in acceptance, he gives her a small, encouraging smile. Come on. Let's go get ready. It's also interesting, it's like a contrast between, the way I'm playing the Traveler, Solaris, and Riona. Riona's like, I'm not carrying a gun, because what if I lose control and hurt someone? Well, Solaris is like, I think Solaris's reasoning is, one, they have no experience with weapons at all, so it's like, I'm just gonna hurt myself or someone else by accident, and also very much like, no, it's not like that they don't trust themselves, it's that they just super don't believe in that, which is also like a fun contrast, because these are a group of mercenaries, right? So I think it's just like, how long can they hold on to that morality, which I find fun to kind of explore in that regard. With the crew dispersing to prepare for landing, Calderon steps towards me. It's best we don't disclose your true identity to anyone outside the crew. If someone asks, we picked you up on Terranium as a navigator. But I don't know how to navigate anything. Calderon stops and thinks, his head shifted to the side. Perhaps it's time you learned. Yeah. I've always wanted to travel, Well, now you've got your chance. I'm just sorry the circumstances aren't different. I swallow down the lump in my throat, trying not to think about it too much. Yeah. Me too. He waves to one of the terminals just behind the cockpit. It shows a large screen sectioned in the grid with various colored lights and controls surrounding it. The terminal here tracks our course and highlights any obstacles along the way. You can also use it to find the best point to entry of planets. I lean to take a closer look, my head reeling. I don't know what any of these things mean. How long do I need to pretend to be a navigator? Just until we get to CD and get off Cursa. Then we can decide to do next. Almost instinctively, my fists clench in my side. When I speak it so quiet, I might as well be talking to myself. Whatever we do, we have to stop Zovak. We will, Solaris. My eyes meet his, and I see the same emotions reflected in him. Anger, betrayal, loss. I know now that he wants the exact same thing I do, to see Zovak made accountable for his actions and the system brought to peace. Calderon may not always be the most pleasant person to deal with, but I can trust him on this. Because maybe I'm not as alone as I thought. I have something else for you. A takes something from inside his jacket and hands it over. A thin piece of metal. It's a holopad that lets you look up anything you want. Yeah, I know what it is. I pushed a small button on the side and the holographic screen lights up. I used to have one of these own, but it was restricted on what I could use it for. My brother Arlo, the most reckless of all my siblings, once took and dropped in a garden fountain. Good. Start with searching Cursa, and I'll help you get an idea of what we're in for. It's very sweet. Thank you for buying me a tablet. With a nod, I retract the screen and place it in my pocket. Oh yeah, I think we can talk to... I think if we choose this one, you get to talk to some of the other characters. But you know what? I think we need bonding time with the captain. So you've been to Cursa before? A couple times when I was training for guard. There's a division that steps in and deals with disputes when the council calls for aid. I'm sure it's no surprise that it was one of the first divisions to be corrupted by Zobak. Corrupted? Keldarin gives me a grim look. By the time Zobak launched his final attack on the palace, he had already placed half the Crown Council with his spies and had the majority of the guard taking his orders. He spread through the system like a plague, worming its way into the veins of the powerful and the influential. When the time came to take the throne, I doubt he even had to lift a finger, beside the one he used with the crown on his head. I had no idea. Of course you didn't. Zobak is a master manipulator. I helped. I showed my guard Vex the ways in and out of the palace. I had no idea what he was doing with that information. I think back on that meeting in Terranium, everything Vex had told me, how he'd used me from the very start. It's not your fault, Solaris. None of it is. Zobak would have gotten what he wanted one way or another. You can't blame yourself. I know what he's saying is true, but somehow I'm still having a hard time believing it. Why are you being so nice to me? He hesitates, and I can see he's caught off guard by the question. Eventually, he runs a hand over his face and sighs. When I joined the guard, I swore to protect the rulers of Goldus. I may not be a guard anymore, but I have a duty to you. Oh, that's really sweet. Try not to make that too difficult for me. Look how cute he is. Oh. Oh. I'll do my best. I'll do my best, Captain. Glad to hear it. Stow away. It's cute. Oh, I like them. With a last smile, he brushes past me and exits the bridge, leaving me to decide what to do next. Okay. We can talk to Aya. I think we talk to Aya. Docs would be to Bash. I think you talk to Riona on this one. I would talk to Bash. Yeah. Yeah. With some time to kill, I head to the docks in search of Bash. I don't think you have to talk to everyone on this one, but I love my boy. Anyway, I feel like I feel like Solaris is close with Aya, after Terranium, and Riona's just delightful. So yeah. This past week, his drawings have been the only thing that's brought me any kind of comfort, and I think it's about time I thank him for that. Obviously, if you're romancing any of them, you get to choose this, but since we're doing non-romance routes, I like to kind of spread the love, as you will. Stepping down the stairs to the docks, I see him at once, leaning back against a workbench and tapping away on his holopad. Hey. He looks up his approach, offering me a broad smile. Hey, Solaris, what brings you down here? Oh, just killing time before we land on this scary planet everyone's so afraid of. He huffs a laugh, nodding as though he understands it all too well. Don't get me wrong, Cursa's no joke, but some of the crew members are known for their over-exaggeration. I chuckled, taking a closer look around the place that Bash has seemed to make his home. What's that smell? Oh! Bash slides a tray down his workbench towards me, and immediately inserts a fresh baked good hangs in the air. The scent of fresh baked good hangs in the air. Pumpkin and poppy seeds muffins. I made them earlier. God, that is so fall. It is giving autumn. I love that. Bash is such a catch. Try one. Oh. A little hesitant, I reach for one of the still warm muffins and take a small bite, immediately laying out a groan. Good, right? This is amazing. I want one now. Oh my god. Bash chuckles and takes another muffin for himself while I continue to devour mine. Riona's cooking was nice enough. Aya's was atrocious, but this is well. But this is better than everything I've eaten on the ship combined. We eat in silence for a few moments, enjoying the treats before I speak again. I both. Well, we'll talk about. Okay. I have to admit, I'm surprised at how good these are. I didn't know you like to cook. Like is a strong word. After Mom took off when I was young, I had to learn how to feed myself. When you're living on a budget, you have to be creative. Take another bite of the muffin, savoring the caramel sweetness on my tongue. This is so good. Pass chuckles, and I'm sure I must look like an absolute idiot spraying muffin everywhere as I speak. Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's good. It's the catch. Would you teach me how to cook? Would you teach me? I mean, I've never tried cooking anything in my life, but I love to learn the basics. Sure, I can teach you a thing or two, but if you're interested in learning some seriously good recipes, I'd ask Damon. The guy's an absolute wizard in the kitchen. I stared at him in disbelief, not quite sure if he's joking or not. Damon? In the kitchen? I mean, he likes knives. Bass chuckles at my reaction, his bionic eye glowing steadily. I was surprised too at first, but you have to admit he's got skills with a knife. You won't doubt it after you've seen him chop an entire cabbage in 7 seconds. I'm gonna see Damon play Beat Saber now. I really don't know how to feel about that. I still don't know whether to be impressed or terrified. Probably both. He laughs, and soon enough I'm joining him, feeling lighter than I have in weeks. Weren't you supposed to be doing something before we land? Already done. I'm generally one step ahead of the captain's plans. Not that I ever let him know that. Can you imagine all the work he'd be making me do? It's pretty clever. Bash wiggles his eyebrows at me, his grin widening. I know. I smile, biting down on my lip for speaking again, more seriously this time. Well, I really wanted to stop by and thank you for the art. I know I haven't been very social this past week, but I'm just grateful now that someone cares. He runs a hand through his hair, fixing me with his firm gaze. Hey, I totally understand. You do what you need to do, and anytime you need to chat, you know where to find me. And if you need to be left alone, then that's cool too. As long as you know that you're not really. Alone, I mean. My bottom lip trembles a little with emotion. How long have I wanted that? To know that I'm not alone. He tossed me another muffin before I leave, and I smiled gratefully. Thanks, Bash. Anytime, Solaris. Cute. Thanks, Bestie. I leave Bash on the docks and head back to my room, pulling out the holopad Calderon gave me and navigating to the home screen. Though I'm still feeling overwhelmed, it's nice to spend some time talking to Bash and taking my mind off things. Typing a curse into the search bar, I scroll through the various results that come up for it. Mostly, I learn about the planet itself. Classified as a storm planet, Cursa is often at the mercy of violent thunderstorms that wreak havoc on the surface. Civilization itself is divided by districts, 15 in total, and wasteland zones. There are a couple of Goldian news articles covering civil unrest on the planet, but besides that I can't find much else. Eventually, I tuck the holopad back into my pocket next to the music box I stowed there and lay back on my bed. I'm sure I'll learn about Cursa soon enough. Everyone get your ass to the bridge and buckle in. It's going to be a bumpy ride. When I reach the bridge, I take the seat in front of the navigator panel, making sure the seatbelt is safely in place. The screen in front of me blinks and beeps, and while I spot the ship's position on it easily enough, I have no idea what the rest of it means. I have a lot to learn if I'm going to be a convincing navigator. Everyone else takes their seats just as the ship begins to rumble and shake. Sitting forward to get a better look, all I see outside the cockpit window is dark gray, cloud cover, and frequent flashes of lightning. Sorry. Sorry about that. Rain lashes against the glass as Aya concentrates on our course, Calderon co-piling from the seat behind her. We need to send quickly or the storm will push us off course. Oh, I had no idea. Here I was taking a joyride through the storm for fun. We won't be making jokes when a bolt of lightning hits us and we go plummeting to our deaths. You won't be making jokes when a bolt of lightning hits us and we go plummeting to our deaths. Real mature, Aya. The two of them continue bickering as we descend through the clouds, the ship jolting every which way by the wind and rain. The lights flicker overhead and a thundering crash rumbles through the ship. I grip the sides of my seat, thankful for the belt securing me in place as we're thrown from side to side. We pick up speed, shooting through the clouds faster and faster as Aya's knuckles growing white from where she grips the thruster. We're gonna die, we're gonna die, we're gonna die. Shut up back there! I'm trying to concentrate on keeping you alive. Concentrate harder, I have too much to live for. With a final push, we break through the storm. Below us lays a sprawling city, barely visible through the layers of mist and fog that cover it. There are lights scattered here and there, but overall the place gives off the kind of darkness that makes my skin crawl. Bunker up ahead. Calderon announces, and the ship slows enough for me to make out the crumbling, dilapidated buildings as we pass overhead. When IMA slows us to a complete hover over an enormous building that looks like a factory, I let out a breath of relief. We made it through one storm, but who knows what else might be waiting for us. Leaning against one of the crates on the docks, I quietly watch while the crew gathers everything they need before disembarking, each and every one of them eager to be done with Cursa as soon as possible. I can't say I don't feel the same way. The tone of the crew is solemn, and there doesn't seem to be a single thing that makes the trip here worth it beside the CD. Though I don't know how they expect to pay for that particular piece of tech. My pocket grows heavy as I weigh my options. I don't want to be a burden to the ship. I've been given a place, a position, and I intend to earn it. Curling my fingers around the small, Catalphaning music box in my pocket, my confidence falters for a moment. The music box is a memento, the only piece of my past I have left. But I don't need it to remember, not anymore. It's only a trinket, nothing more than a material possession, and one that could help us leave this planet sooner rather than later. I'll miss it. Its weight in my pocket has been a constant reminder that there was someone once who loved me, someone who still might be watching over me. I want to make her proud, and I'm trying to accept that this is what I have to do. This is the first step towards taking control of my own life. I've got a plan. I just hope the crew will understand what I'm trying to do for them. Damon? I take my chance as the second in command strolls past me, an unreadable expression clouding his features. He seems half lost in thought when he turns to me, drowning in memories of this place I can't even begin to fathom. What? His voice is sharp as a razor, and I'm reminded of his plan to sell me out just the other day. But he's assured me I don't have to worry about that anymore, and I have no choice but to believe him. Well, what do you want from me? You don't always have to speak to me like that, you know? How about an apology, for starters? His lips tilt into a self-satisfied smirk, though his eyes are still distant. Like for once, he's not even making an effort to get under my skin. The thing is, I'm not a fan of those. Would empty words of apology ease your royal heart? I'm not in the mood, nor do I have time for his little games. It's best we get down to business already before the rest of the crew notices we're taking a little too long to follow them. Forget it. I need you to sell this for me. What? Taking the music box from my pocket, I grab Damon's wrist and place it in his palm, giving it one last look. He closes his fingers around the trinket, and I look away before my resolve falters. You sure? Yes, I know the crew said they didn't want me to sell it, but I want to. Tired of being helpless. I'm tired of being just another mouth to feed on the ship and of other people making my decisions for me. My whole life I've been helpless and I'm sick of it. I want to help, but I can't do it on my own. I don't know what had pushed me to open up to Damon of all people. Maybe it's knowing he won't judge me for it. I know he understands what it's like to want to take control of your own life. You're from Cursa. You know things. I'd like you to sell it so we have enough money for the CD without jeopardizing supplies or anything. Please. I sting with unshed tears, but I blink them away. I've made my decision, so no use crying about it now. His face is still a mask devoid of any expression, yet his eyes are finally focused, and it feels like this is the first time since we started talking that he is truly seeing me. Won't you do it? Won't you let go of my arm? Realizing I hadn't let go of his wrist since I gave him the music box, I quickly do so when he points it out, giving him a tight-lipped smile as I straightened up. All done. Consider it done. He slips the music box into his pocket, and just like that, it's gone. A little piece of my heart shatters, but it's a small price to pay for my future. A short, quick nod of his head later, and he walks away. Not a single "Your Highness" snide remark, no jokes. Something's truly off with Damon. I wonder if it's being on Curse that hasn't like that, but I can't afford to think of that now. I watch him leave, pushing away the memories of the day Narissa had given me the gift. Wherever she is, I hope she's proud of me for taking the first step. I know she would have done the same thing in my shoes. With a renewed resolution, I raise my chin and prepare myself to face whatever comes next. Stepping off the ship, we find ourselves in a bunker as large as an aircraft hangar. The metal walls encasing us have been rusted by both time and no doubt the weather raging outside, and the smell of ozone hangs in the air. Ramps separate us from another space below, filled with people running back and forth. Shipping containers and weapon racks lither the space, and tall metal doors further down indicate the place is larger than it first appears. A symbol covers the door from top to bottom, A red moon tearing through a dark sky. An eye, a nearby bot who guards the closet door, armed to the teeth with the kinds of weapons I've never even seen before. A chill runs down my spine as the gaze is throws my way, its red eyes blinking as it focuses in on us. I shuffle closer to the crew. Should we introduce ourselves? We already have. Looks like our contact's running late. Bash and I stand together taking in the sights. Out of everyone, they seem the most excited to be here. I'm dying to take a look around. Do you see that MM31 over by the ramp? I bet June's aching to get his hands on it, even more than I am. Caldera clears his throat loudly, and Bash lets out a sigh, leaning back against the railing. The captain looks less than impressed by her host's tardiness, though that doesn't surprise me in the least. I decide to stick with Eye and Bash for the moment, hoping to get more information from them. Who are we meeting anyway? Aya folds her arms over her chest, hollow flickering in front of her eye. They called her boss, but that's all I've got. Apparently she's a little friend of Damon's, but him and the captain aren't exactly in a sharing mood. You could say that again. Here I thought Damon would be happy to reunite with an old friend. Especially one of the female persuasion. And if that isn't the most bisexual man you've ever seen in your goddamn life, he even has the gay little earring. I might wink so that I don't miss the insinuation. This person we're meeting is a woman. Also, just as note, the whole crew is pansexual. Friends, I'm not even sure the assassin even knows the word. I'll bet you 100 credits whoever it is has tried to off him before, maybe even more than once. I'm sure he gave it back as good as he got it. You know, it could be an old girlfriend. I wouldn't be surprised if both were true. I think you're on to something, Tin Man. I may lightly punches Bash on the shoulder where he chuckles, the two of them getting lost in the details of their high-stakes guessing game. Both? So you're trying to say they were friends, and they were trying to kill each other, and they were dating? How does that even work? Wouldn't you like to know? Damon appears beside me like a specter, and I'm jumping on my skin. His zip tilts to my reaction, and I see his face has finally gained some of that mirth he was lacking earlier. If you're not telling, then I guess we'll just have to ask her when she gets here. Good luck trying to get anything out of her. Captain scoffs at the idea, his lips set in a permanent scowl that only seems to deepen by the second. You know her too? We've never met, no, but I know of her. Imagine Damon as a woman, but worse. Hot. Oh please, you adore me, Cal. Admit it already, won't you? You're late. No, you are early. We all turn towards the voice, knowing the masked woman who makes her way toward us, her steps so quiet they could rival Damon's. The people she walks past all give some sort of salute. She's clearly the leader of this place, and despite her short stature, her presence is imposing. She steps up to Calderon, a hand shoved casually in the pocket of her coat. I'm assuming you're Cal. Calderon scowls at her, either lost for words or just desperately trying to rein himself in. Pulling down her hood, the woman presses a hidden button next to her match and it disappears, revealing her face. I thought she'd be taller. Bash chokes on a laugh as she steps in front of us, the top of her head barely reaching the captain's shoulder. Her features are delicate, but the glint in her eye makes it clear she's not trying to fool anyone. Don't call me that. Don't bother, she's not going to listen to you. So, just take a moment. Her sprite, she's very hot. Listen, the crop top, a little bit of thigh over here, she's serving. Damon steps forward, putting himself half between the two of them as he smirks down at her. Of course I'm listening. I just find that Cal suits him better. You haven't changed at all. You wouldn't love me as much if I had. Damon chuckles, his posture relaxing as he reaches in to ruffle her hair and she swats away with him with a roll of her eyes and an easy laugh. Seeing him interact with someone in such a familiar way is strange. The way his shoulders relax, how it seems the inner turmoil that he had been experiencing earlier just vanishes around her. I can tell they're close, in a way I've never seen or experienced him be with anyone. Damon had said there was nothing worth remembering from this place, but maybe there had been someone. Let's hurry this up, shall we? I'd like to leave as soon as possible. Introductions are in order, then. This is Alyssa Armbreast, current leader of the Crimson Dust Gang. Current. You say as if there's any chance they'll be replaced. Never know when you might bite the dust around here. That mystery is what keeps me feeling alive. Calderon clenches his teeth and hurries through the introductions, throwing my name in casually somewhere in the middle. It seems he hoped Alyssa wouldn't notice anything out of the ordinary, but her sharp eyes settle on me once he's done, her eyebrow lifting curiously. Ah! She's on to us! Should I call your fancy friend by their title then? Calderon frowns so I don't miss the way his shoulders stiffen. Solaris is a navigator, though I don't see why that would matter to you. Of course they are. His Nice meeting such a royal member of the crew in any case. Oh, shit. Oops, I meant loyal. The smile she throws me is nothing short of predatory, her mismatched eyes glinting as though she just stumbled on an unexpected treasure. The crypt shifts around me, tension hanging thick in the air. I don't know how, but she seems to know who I am. I can't tell if that's dangerous or not. I mean, yeah. Say, it's nice to meet you. I give her a small smile and attempt to smooth out the tension holding my hand. Surely she can't know who I truly am. Nice to meet you. She barks at a laugh at the introduction, but she still accepts my hand, giving me a firm handshake. You might want to tone down the etiquette around these parts. We wouldn't want to draw any unwanted attention, would we? Anyway, I assume you're here for some reason other than my delightful company. As we discussed over the comms, we're here for the CD. How much is it going to cost us? Same as we agreed on. Don't think about shorthanding me now, Cal. Fine, I'll arrange for the credits to be transferred. Plus, a tiny little favor, of course. Alyssa interrupts Calderon before he can say another word. Damon snickers, his lips tilting as though he expected nothing less. That wasn't part of the bargain. We never discussed anything other than the price, tough guy. We had a fucking deal. Heavy silence around us, the smirk on Alyssa's face vanishing and being instantly replaced by a cold, cunning glare. Unease worms its way into my stomach, and her voice is short and clipped when she speaks next. What's your tone, or I might charge you a fee for hurting my feelings. June placed a hand on the captain's shoulder, taking his place in discussion while Damon steps a little closer to Alyssa, throwing her a look that has her relaxing her stance a little. I don't know, play nice, you two. I'm sure we can reach an agreement that's favorable to us all. Let's just keep it friendly, shall we? Huh, knight in shining armor. How noble. I'm just trying to help. What sort of favor are you asking? You understand we can't stay here long. And I'm sure you don't need us to off anyone for you, so what do you want, huh? Follow me. We trail after Alyssa a little further into the bunker, where a large round table sits off to the side. As you already know, I'm the leader of the Crimson Dusk, and we lead every district and wasteland to the west of Cursa, while the east side is controlled by the Azure Dawn. As she speaks, you press a small button on the side of the table, and a holographic map appears. It depicts what I assume is Cursa, or an urban part of it at least. We finally managed to push Azure further east here, and here. Then the fucking Chimera scum came waltzing back in and took over this area here. I thought Cursa had always been in a Chimera stronghold. When did that change? Just a few years ago. Zovak decided to set his sights on a bigger prize, so his goons slowly started flocking away from Cursa to other planets at his command. Infiltration, assassination, he set up the board nice and neatly, ready and waiting for him to make his final move. You knew about his plans? The question escapes me before I could stop myself. Was the crew common knowledge inside of the system? Had they known and done nothing to stop it? Not exactly, no. But it was clear it happened eventually. The Pegasi were never particularly beloved, and Zovek had always been openly against them. But then again, so had everyone around here. Sorry, I'm quick break. And it's not like we kept tabs on him after he cleared out, or we'd still give a shit about pompous Goldians. We have our own issues to deal with, thanks to your old man. I have to bite on the inside of my cheek to keep myself from asking more questions. We're here on a mission, I need to focus. Anyway, yeah, that's when we took over operations in Cursa. Crimson and Azure were always the big players around here, but the Chimera were bigger and a major pain in the ass. They take what little the people have with no apologies. The citizens in their district have fled here, which led to overpopulation, and now we have numbers to stand against them and take the planet back. The area marked as Chimera Stronghold just now isn't Crimson territory. Why don't you let Azure handle their own business? Because the Chimera won't settle for that small piece of land. They've started to attack my guys, getting in the way of my business, and of course, Azure is mine to take. So you want us to get rid of the Chimera for you? I'll let you have all the fun? Don't be ridiculous. I need you to go in and deliver something for me. A message, and bring me back the reply. The enemy of my enemy is my friend, huh? Alyssa cocks her head to the side, shrugging. A heavy sigh comes from my side, and I turn to see Calderon pinching the bridge of his nose as the realization dawns. You're working on a peace offering. A truce, yes. We'll most likely go right back to killing each other once we get rid of the Chimera. Why not take the chance to work together in the future? Make amends and give the people here a decent chance at life. Peace is always better. Calderon has a point. Alyssa's eyebrows raised, her expression unreadable, but I can't help but side with him on this. The captain has a point. This could be a chance to turn a new page. If you can work together to achieve this, then why not carry it on? Alyssa regards me with guarded eyes, the smile on her face softening a little. If I didn't know any better, I'd risk saying my words made her consider the possibility, but even I know that's a reach. It's a bit more complicated than putting this all behind us, honey. A nod from the captain catches my eye, and the small smile toying on his lips make me feel proud for having spoken out. Don't worry your pretty little head about it, is all I'm saying. I have plans, but that's not important now. All I know is I've been busting my ass to secure a truce with Azure, and I ain't about to let it all go to shit because some chimera want to spread their wings. Where's the drop site? She points at an area on the center of the map, somewhere along the border between Crimson and Azure territories. Damon's eyes dart over the map as if he was already planning 5 different routes to get in and out of there. I'll do it. Who am I looking for? You're not going out there on your own. It's too dangerous. I'm the best man for the job, and you know it. He's got a point, Damon. What? Not you too. Come on. Shit's changed out there. You've been away too long. Tension settles between them, a silent conversation none of us can understand with them. So Damon lets out a deep breath and his shoulders slump in defeat. I told him to expect only a couple of you. Doesn't matter who. None of you particularly blend in around here, but traveling in small groups to keep you from getting into trouble. And who are we meeting? Their leader, Zane. You get in and you get out. Simple as that. If it's simple, why don't you go? Because my head is worth more than yours around here. If you say so, lady. Alyssa looks him up and down, and by the smile that tilts her lips, I say she approves of him. Don't worry. I'll be sure to have the CD installed in your ship and ready to go by the time you get back. Those who remain are welcome to our hospitality while my crew gets to work. Snacks around the house. I'm assuming you have a safe route planned out. A quick nod following by a few commands brings up the highlighted route. It's pretty straightforward and doesn't seem to cross any chimera territory, but yet for some reason that doesn't ease the tension building in me. This is the best we can do. It avoids any chimera hotspots and no conflict zones, but I make no promises. Meaning we could still run into them at any given moment? Pretty much, yeah. Have fun! With a smile, Ellis switches off the map, tossing a small comm to Calderon. Choose your team and go. The map's in there, as well as what you need to deliver, so try not to lose it. Now, I'll take those credits up front. Damon, got it. Don't keep me waiting, Cal. She's so fun. I love her. With the wink, Alyssa turns to leave, Damon hot on her heels. It still shocks me how relaxed Damon seems with her. It's almost as though he feels at home for the first time since we met him. One of his rare, genuine laughs echoes through the space, and I watch he shoves him playfully, wearing a smile that looks nothing like the sarcastic smirk from earlier. I turn away when Alyssa leads him through the doors, guarded by the bot, which I'm assuming leads to her private office or quarters. I'm gonna be a little by her. You know what? I'm a little jealous of Damon right now. She's hot. Alyssa's so sure of herself, so powerful and confident. I'd love to be able to get her to know her better. I think it's extremely funny. I'm doing it on romance road, but you know what? Solaris is into Alyssa. Clearly, Damon is on friendly terms with her. I just don't know how friendly. I'm guessing I'm just jealous he gets to spend alone time with her, even if he's only wiring a payment. I wouldn't mind if it was me in there. How should we split up, Cap? Who's going to take the message? I'll leave it to whoever wants to volunteer. There'll still be things to take care of around here for the ones who remain. I volunteer. That's a tribute. You know, it's been a decade. Gotta tussle Hunger Games in there. I stepped up to, oh God, do you remember that? I was in school at, peak Hunger Games time, and every time, like, the class was, asked to do something, every single time they would, put up their hand and be like, I volunteer as tribute. Yeah. I'm sure it wasn't annoying at all for the teachers. I stepped up to Calderon before he can make any firm plans. Both him and Aya look surprised, but I want to go. I've spent my entire life on Goldus. This is my chance to find out more about the system, to broaden my horizons and do something useful for the crew. Cursa isn't like Terranium. If anyone recognizes you, I know, and they won't. I'll follow your rules, just please let me do this. Calderon gives me a severe look, and I can only hope my promise is enough to convince him. I have no reason to go off on my own or follow any other ghosts from my past, not now that I know the truth. Vex. I shake the memories of him to the back of my mind. There's no time for that. He's long gone by now. 2 of us will be enough to keep them safe, Cal. I think it'd do them so good to take a nice stroll out through the slums. Well, as good as a stroll in Cursa can be, anyway. Fine. But you don't leave our side, Zolaris. Cursa is a war zone and you have no formal combat training. Yes, sir. Valerian's scowl softens and I try to keep my face neutral. I never expected he would let me go, but I'm glad he agreed. We split up accordingly and make sure each team is fit to handle both the pickup and Zolaris' safety. June, you're with me. Aime, go with Bash. Riona, you can pair up with Damon. Everyone nods in agreement. It's clear the crew have all been working together a long time and have strengths to complement each other. Zolaris, you can choose who goes with you. You can need to trust whoever you're with. Okay, so this is fun. So you get different dialogue and different options with each of them. I think for here, because we're kind of in the middle of Damon's arc here, I do want to choose him, and we get some cool time with Riona that we kind of missed out on earlier. So yeah, I feel like that's one of the best options for this, but if you're playing this game yourself, I highly recommend you check out all the different options, especially, if you're romancing specific people, you get a little chance to flirt and talk there. But yeah, we'll be taking Damon and Riona. I'd like to go with Damon and Riona. Riona gives me a soft smile and steps forward, adjusting the rifle she has strapped on her back. I'll send the other one over. Karen nods at us both for her heading off, leaving Riona and I to wait for Damon to finish whatever he's doing. Well, not the most obvious choice, I feel confident in my decision nonetheless. Riona and Damon seem to make a balanced pair, hopefully enough so to ensure this mission is a success. Sorry for making you do this. There's no need to be sorry. I've been to Cursa many times. I can handle myself just fine out there. Something about the way she says it makes me pause. Riona has never come across as weak or incapable, and she has a fiery temper I've seen slip through on occasion. I suppose I give him more credit. You think Damon will mind going with us? Oh no, in fact, he'll probably enjoy it. Yeah, probably. I just meant him reuniting with old friend and all. I might what? Damon slinks up next to us, his footsteps as silent as a specter. Riona crossed her arms over her chest and gives him a dry look. I think what they're trying to say is you might prefer us to handle all the action while you waste more time flirting with, what's her name, Alana? Damon snorts and tugs on a strand of Riona's silver hair affectionately, to which she answers with a scowl. Stop being a hagrid. You know perfectly well what her name is. Besides, why waste the chance to take a nice stroll around the old neighborhood? Riona raises her eyebrows and gives me a knowing look before waving a hand at him. Let's get on with it, shall we? Yes, ma'am. I will murder you if you call me that again. I don't doubt it. I've seen the kind of plants you grow in your infirmary. Damon turns and strolls toward the exit, not bothering to wait for the two of us. Riona sighs but smiles despite his teasing. After you, Zolaris. They also have a very cute dynamic. My first glimpse of the planet is as harsh as my expectations have been. Still afternoon, but the sky is gray and covered. Also, sorry. This is probably like my favorite background in the game. I think I said that last time. For the arc, I don't know. It's just so fun. Like this is sci-fi. I don't know. I like the bright colors and the sort of neon and just the more like urban setting. I guess I always enjoy in like fun little sci-fi settings there. And I like, you see the reflection and the puddles and stuff. And yeah, I don't know. I love this background. It's still afternoon, but the sky is gray and covered by a layer of clouds so thick it's impossible to tell whether the faint light behind them comes from the sun or from the constant lightning streak across the sky. My hesitation slowly fades as we head deeper into the Cursan slums, and instead I find my focus fixed solely on the sights of the city. The streets are packed with people, either heading in various directions or lording around in dilapidated buildings. A few wary glances are thrown our way, but most don't pay attention to us. The street is oddly clean, and I notice a young member of the crimson dust sweeping the sidewalk off to the side. We walk in solemn silence, so I take the chance to survey my surroundings, discovering a version of Salota I have never known nor expected to be real. The further we get away from the bunker, the worse the streets around us become. Narrow paths, dirty walls, small homes with even smaller windows. Some are even missing the roof or entire walls, but they're still clearly being lived in. Makeshift shelters have been made from scraps of metal or large sheets of waterproof fabrics. Riona stayed close to me, her back straight and shoulders stiff, while Damon takes the lead, guiding us through the side street with the ease of someone who knows all of them too well. Mena lets out a shiver beside me, and I turn to her. Are you alright? Me? I appreciate the concern, Solaris, but I'm the one who's asking you that. Yeah, your eyes have been wide as saucers from the moment we stepped outside. Besides, I've told you I've been here before. My gaze lingers on the rifle strapped to her back. Although June had mentioned he was providing her with a non-lethal weapon earlier, it still looks intimidating. With the Archangels? Yes, precisely. That makes sense. She did mention the Archangels were formed to help the people of Slota who needed it most. Has it been long? Only a few years, less than a decade. I haven't been to this district, though. That's right. Your work was in District 8. There's quite the story around these parts. Rumors of the Blue Lady who blasts down any soul who stood in the way of those who stood in the way of helping those in need. That was a lie. Tell that to the poor band of drug dealers who wound up shot in there. Those guys had it coming. And I thank you to stop spreading lies about me. I'm a lady. Yes, ma'am. If you think I'm going to help you when she murders you, Damon, you're wrong. Thank you, Solaris. As if she missed me too much. Riona gives him a stern look, but she cracks when he wraps an arm around her shoulders, messing up her hammer with his other hand. Don't push it. Damon winks as Riona pushes him away, smoothing down her hair to its usual prim place. My visits here are pretty brutal. There's only so much we could do to help. District 8 was part of Chimera territory at the time. A lot of fighting was going on. I never saw him in person, but from what Alyssa told me, it was... His breath comes out in a huff, his eyes glazing over the memories. Fucked up. I heard it got better after we left, but I never got the chance to check it out personally. So every district is like this? Most are similar, yes. What, too dirty for someone like you? Oh, stop. I didn't mean it like that. I just had no idea what to expect. I never imagined it would be this bad. Damon sighs and runs a hand over his face, and I don't think he had meant to direct his frustrations at me. I know. Yes, they're all the same. Besides the specializations, we're in District 4, which has a large entertainment sector. 5, the one we're heading towards, has its trade center. 3, the one I had some good bank degrees, I guess. The list goes on. You're from District 3? I am, but we won't be stopping by for a reunion. Ain't a damn thing we're seeing there anyway. His smile feels too forced, quickly fading from his lips as he mumbles. Well, the cookies were good, but I can make better. Riona and I exchange a look, and I see a small smile pull at the corner of her mouth. Oh good, we'll hold you to that when we get back to the ship. I share a smile, and the three of us fall into a comfortable silence. Since when can Damon bake? How did things get so bad around here? Damon and Riona share a grim look, one I'm clearly missing out on. The council never cared for what they deemed unimportant. Fortunately, that included the people. Yeah, and like anything on the Outer Ring, the further you get from Goldus, the less they give a damn. The Council of Iron is theoretically in charge of Cursa. They abused their power for years until they ended up joining with the Chimera. Now Zovek has them in the palm of his hand. I had no idea things were so bad. I thought, what did I think? That my family cared about their people? The more I learn, the more it feels as if Nerissa had been the only one to care about anything, and that thought makes me sick to my stomach. Don't beat yourself up over it, Solaris. I know you don't need to hear it, but it's not your fault. No one blames you around here. Heck, I don't think most of them even know you exist. Jeez, thanks. All I'm saying is we've had enough trouble with the Pegasi. I don't think shit will be any different with Zovak in power. His face darkens, twin to the stormy sky above us. I hope our plan works. Cursa would be better off taking care of itself. What plan? What? Nothing. Don't tell me Alyssa's trying to. Let's just get this job done. Damon interrupts, giving Riona a hard look. She rolls her eyes, but says no more. We continue on, the cold wind slowly chilling us down to the bone. People of varying species beg on street corners, and unsavory sounds echo from the shadows of many sinister-looking alleys. Overhead, our skies darken, and the rain starts up once again, soaking through the fabric of our clothes, forcing me to wrap my arms around myself and shiver. Nearby, a child sits on an empty crate, his eyes wide and his hands outstretched as we pass by. I hesitate for a moment, falling behind. We'll search pockets for a donation. I don't think we have any money. I rummage in my pockets, but come up short, giving the boy an apologetic look. The clinking of metal hits my ears as Riona steps up beside me, producing a few coins and dropping them into the boy's hands with a kind smile. With a grin growing from ear to ear, the boy scurries off and disappears among the crowd of people. I turn to Riona, whose face is set grimly. That was nice of you. I wish I could do more, but at least they'll eat tonight. Unfortunately, we can't help them all. Keep up, will you? Damon snaps at the two of us and we quicken our pace. These streets aren't safe, stop acting like they are. All I see is starving children and people trying to make their ends meet. I've been one of them. Don't be fooled by that. Not everyone is like you. Not everyone is like you. Some people just want to live a normal life. You have no fucking clue what it's like to live on Cursa. Damon, if you want to get yourself killed or a few damn coins, then be my guest and keep acting like a goddamn charity. I won't stop you. We just gave him you coins. Right, now we need to keep an eye out for a mob of beggars after our shit. I get the urge to help, but this is not the way to do it. Just stay close, we're almost there. I make a face at his back, but doesn't stop me from casting a few wary glances around us. When I see no one there, a small wave of relief washes over me. We walk in silence for a good long while, but I'm happy for it. This place has put all of us on edge, and we can't afford to be distracted from our mission. I assume we're quite close to our destination. The streets have slowly become narrower, quieter, and more fitting of a secret rendezvous. Sorry. Again, we're not doing the romance route. I think it gives you like an option to flirt and stuff. But because we're again in the middle of Damon's arc, I do want to sort of interact with him more, just as in chapter 5 we'll be interacting with June the most there and just trying to bond with them. If you didn't know, the way this is sort of set up is the characters will have various arcs throughout the story, starting with Damon, and then June, and then spoilers, Vex, and then Ayame and Bash, and then Calderon and Riona, and then eventually your Traveler themselves. So yeah, we have our bonding moments with Damon. Before I realize it, my steps have guided me closer to Damon. He throws me a side glance, and I can clearly sense his guard is up. What's wrong? Nothing. I just didn't want to walk alone. This place is unsettling. And you thought I was a safer choice for a companion? I shrugged, throwing a small smile. Sure. Why not? You really are full of surprises. There's just too much sadness in the air here. That's cursed for you. I've been gone for a while now, but it's still the same damn thing. He runs a hand through his hair, his gaze wandering without truly focusing on anything. This message we're delivering. Will it help Cursa? If it works, maybe. You can ask Lissa about it when we get back. It's really not my business to share. Lissa? Lissa, the woman we met earlier. We go way back, She pretty much saved my life more than once if it matters. You two sound close. I hadn't seen her in a while, but we are. I can tell you more about it later if you're curious. I ain't really got the time now, and besides... Damon, is this the place? Sure is. My mouth goes dry. This is it then. As curious as I am about Damon's past, we have a mission to complete now, and it's the only thing I should be focusing on. Half a dozen people block the way ahead, an assortment of rifles, blasters, and pistols pointing towards us. I suck in a breath, my nerves on edge. We stopped abruptly, our empty hands held in front of us to show we have no intention of fighting. They keep their weapons raised, but motion for us to come closer. One of the guys steps forward to meet us, a rifle in hands, and machete hanging from the belt around his waist. What business do you have in Azure territory? Damon shifts beside me, and before he has a chance to speak, and no doubt piss them all off, I cut in. We have a message from Alyssa, leader of the Crimson Dust. She wants to offer truce in exchange for your help running the Chimera off Cursa. Riona steps forward, offering the comm to the one who had spoken. He doesn't take it straight away. Instead, he turns his nose up at it. You're the messengers, huh? How do I know this ain't a trap? That thing could be a bomb. It isn't a bomb. That's what you would say if it was a bomb. How bold of you to doubt me. The man sticks his nose in the air, giving Damon a once-over. And you are... Oh, you know who I am. Damon steps up to the man, the smirk vanishing from his face, his eyes turn colder than I've ever seen them. To the man's merit, his only reaction is a shaky ball of his throat. Get your sorry ass back there and tell Zane that Reznor's here to see him on behalf of the Crimson Dust. And he's got more important shit to do than listen to pathetic little shit like you. The shoulders around us paled considerably when Damon called himself Reznor, a ripple of fear snaking through them. Now. Damon continues to stare them down. A ripple of impatience goes through me, and I'm sure the others are feeling it too. Look, we need to speak to your leader. It's important. The man looks us over, blinking himself back to his senses before he makes his decision. Alright, we'll take you through, but your weapons stay here. I don't think so. Those are the rules, ma'am. Oh, now you're in trouble. Rihanna looks as though she would happily wring the guy's neck, but eventually sighs and takes her tranquilizer from his holster, handing it over. I show them I have no weapons, earning at least 3 dumbfounded looks at my words. Obviously not a regular occurrence in Cursa. The woman steps towards Damon, and he grins at her before handing over his blaster and a sheathed blade. Only one of the several I know he carries when she doesn't move, he shrugs. Don't push it, sweetheart. The woman resigns and steps back, looking uncomfortably when Damon continues to stare at her. Follow me. We do as instructed, following the man as we're flanked on all sides by the other members. We don't have to go far, and I remember Alyssa saying they'd be expecting us. The man steps forward, taller than the others, and half bathed in darkness. From what I can see of his face, I note the crooked grin pulling at the corners of his mouth. I see Alyssa has some new mice doing her bidding these days, but you don't look like the usual roads we get here in the slums. The man pauses, a knowing glint creeping in his eyes. He looks Damon up and down. Except for you. Oh, that's funny, coming from one of the biggest rats around. Damon and the man stare at each other for a moment longer, their eyes sharp as daggers. It doesn't take long until they both break out in smirks and step forward to shake hands, their knuckles turning white with the effort to outdo the other. Or trying to crush the other's hand. Been a while, Damon. I've been busy. Likewise. Your eye healed up nicely. So did your face. Seems like she takes pleasure in leaving a mark of those luckily end up in her bed. Oh. I almost choke on my own breath, eyes widening on the man. Damon's face hardens, but the other man ignores it, giving Rona a nod of greeting. I'll be right back. I need to get some more water, sorry. I'm dying over here. I start doing playthroughs where I don't talk as much. The name's Zane. I hear you have something for me? We do. A message from Alyssa. The Crimson Queen, too busy to deliver a message to her old friend in person? I could have put on a pot of tea, maybe break out the best china for the occasion. He grins, slow and wide. I have no doubt that his tea would be laced with an extra special something for the rival leader. Damon exhales slowly, jaw tense and sneer deadly. I have no doubt that if this mission wasn't so important, Zane would be dead at our feet by now. Rihanna tosses the memory device to Zane, who catches it easily and extends the screen. He hits a button on a small black earpiece that's looped around one of his ears and syncs to the device, watching as the message plays. A small hollow screen from the device flashes different images, though they're too small to make out from where I stand. After a minute or so, he takes in a deep breath, the grin wiped from his face. Truce? I can't say I don't want those Chimera bastards out of the way, but how can I trust Alyssa to keep her word? She wants the Chimera gone. Maybe more than you do. Trust that. Zane runs a thumb over his chin in thought. He doesn't look convinced. Sounds like an awful big risk. One I'm not sure I want to take. He waves a hand in the air, and the soldiers around him begin to move out. A sickening feeling makes its way into my gut as I realize we've failed. Wait. The word leaves my mouth, and before I even know what I'm doing, Zane stops, glancing at me from over his shoulder. And get off my turf before my hospitality runs out if I were you. Not until you agree to the truce. I already told you I'm not taking that risk. I let out a sigh, pulling my bottom lip between my teeth. He needs to see that there's no future for the people of Cursa without a truce. What about the people? What happens to them when the Chimera take everything, including Crimson Dust and Azure Dawn? They deserve better than what they have. So do you. Alyssa knows that too. That's why she's the one stepping up. Zane fixes me with a dark stare and I swallow hard, wondering if he's going to raise his blaster and shoot me straight in the head just to be done with us. Instead, he pushes a button on the side of the comm and holds it close to his lips. You've got a deal. Next time, don't send your former boy toy to fetch it. Unless it's up for sharing. His eyes rake over Damon and he winks, earning a deadly glare from the assassin. Zane's shoulders shake with silent laughter, his amusement poorly hidden. Myrna catches the device as Zane tosses the back her way. Thank you. He inclines his head toward me, that strange smile slipping into place once more. Careful on your way back, little mouse. There have been more unfamiliar faces spotted in these parts than just yours. Azure will escort you as far as our territory permits. After that, you're on your own. With one last wave of his hand, he disappears in the growing night, and a unit of soldiers comes forward. They restore our weapons and follow behind them, like heading back the way we came. Damon steps closer to me, with Riona flanking the other side. Look at you stepping up, Solaris. Good work. You did good. I smile at them each in turn, feeling proud that for once I could do something to help. My feeling quickly fades when the soldier in front of us shout out, freezing me in place. Intruders! Up ahead! The Azure crew halts, stopping us in place. Damon takes a step forward, joining the front line with a terrifying grin curling his lips, calling out to what seems like no one in particular. It's cute you think you'd hide from me. What's happened? Positions! The Azure shoulders shift and form a semicircle, bright as a dozen figures in black armor emerge from the shadows surround us. The darkness of their uniforms make them hard to see against the backdrop of night, but there's one thing that does stand out. The glowing half-moon symbol in each of their arms. Chimera. Riona whispers a word and a chill runs down my spine. Damon steps aside, breaking formation, but blocking me from view. And here I thought we'd be enjoying a nice stroll back to the bunker. Tension ripples through the air as the Chimera draw closer, yet no one moves, waiting for the other side to strike first. We don't have to wait. One of the Azure soldiers fires at the Chimera, and just like that, all hell breaks loose. Dan remains on the front line, a blaster in one hand, knife in the other. He uses everything around him to his advantage, blending the shadows with such ease it terrifies me. His movements are graceful and fluid, adapting to whatever and whoever crosses paths with him. Riona hangs back the rifle, her aim surprisingly precise. She aims at weak spots in the Chimera armor, though there doesn't seem to be many. Soldiers drop like flies on both sides, and I step back, my chest tight in panic as my head whips back and forth, not knowing what to do. Both Damon and Riona work seamlessly with Azure, taking out the Chimera as quickly as they come. For every Chimera that falls, it seems like two more pop in their place. Soon, Azure is pushed further and further, pushed back further and further, forcing the fight in close quarters and making the chances of winning this fight seem slim. Riona and Damon back up, fighting the group of Chimera right in front of us. Damon's charge runs out and he slams the blade of his dagger into Chimera neck with a sickening squelch. With the rifle becoming ineffective in such close quarters, Riona shoves his shoulder back with the barrel before bringing the weapon down against the side of his face with a crack. I gotta say, Doc, this finally feeling like a trip home. It disturbs me that you find this situation amusing. Funny thing to say when you're having just as much fun. Riona scoffs, firing at a woman who has an Azure shoulder pinned to the ground. Damon finished her off with a thrown blade, lodging itself deep between the armor plates around her neck, spurting crimson blood. He turns to Riona with a wink. Don't tell me you don't enjoy the moving targets. How about we try to get through this in one piece, yes? Damon sighs dramatically, but it's short-lived, as another wave Chimera pushes back further still and overwhelms the Azure soldiers. Riona throws me a worried look, her eyebrows dipped in concern as she calls out over the fight surrounding us. Solaris, run! Get to the bunker! I hesitate, watching the two of them struggle alongside the Azure soldiers to hold the Chimera back, the tide of the battle quickly turning ill. I can't leave them, but what can I use as a weapon? I have to do something. Go! Now! The second in command barks at me, an authoritative tone to a voice I'd never heard before. With his blaster recharging, he shoots at Chimera at close range, blood spattering against his skin. You make our jobs here a lot fucking harder if we have to watch out for you on top of ourselves. We'll catch up with you, Solaris. Get yourself to safety. They pull back to join the fights, and I finally make a decision. I run. My feet hit the cold, cracked pavement as I streak through the alleyways, lit only by the crack of lightning streaking through the sky overhead. It pours from above, streaming down my face and chilling me to the bone. I run and run until my breath is ragged, my lungs ache and burn, and the streets in front of me are blurred by the water streaming to my eyes and clouding my vision. I skid around the corner, and then another and another, before finally coming to a stop, desperate to catch my breath. Looking around, I can't even begin to fathom where I am. All I thought about was getting away from the fight. I'm lost. Completely and utterly lost on this foreign planet with nowhere to go next. Panic streaks through me and my lungs tighten. I crouch down, gasping for air and struggling to draw in enough to keep my head from spinning. My mind fails and I don't stop it. I give in to my emotions, letting them consume and overwhelm me. Wet, hot tears streak down my face and I sob, gasping for breath and coming up short. A strangled sob escapes me as I press my hands to my eyes and gasp for air, blocking out everything and falling into a world of darkness. And then another thought hits me. I could stay lost. My breath calms as I consider it, my breath still aching but slowly coming back to life. I could stay lost on this planet, or I could go anywhere I wanted. There has to be eternal somewhere where I could jump on a ship and disappear. I could start a new life, be a new person. I could be just like everyone else. Solaris. The voice cuts through the shadows and tears me from my thoughts. The voice sends a cold shiver down my spine and a jolt through my chest. Footsteps echo over the rain-soaked pavements and a pair of black boots into my vision, followed by an outstretched hand. Solaris, get up. I take his hand. I reach out and take his hand, feeling his warmth seep into my cold, cold skin. He hoists me to my feet and I stumble, a hand pressed to his chest to steady myself. Drop my hand quickly, I step away. My throat goes tight, fresh tears sting the back of my eyes as I struggle to meet his cold stare. I didn't expect to see him again, but now he's here right in front of me. I'm having a difficult time preventing myself from crumbling at his feet. What are you doing here? I finally speak when my breath is settled enough to do so, and he cocks his head to the side. Why is he here? Is he following me? I have a job to do. What job? One that doesn't concern you. I thought I told you to lose the crew. I scoff, staring him straight in the eye and stand my ground. Why would I listen to anything you say? You're a liar. You're an idiot. You want to die with them? Why would I? My gaze flickers to the sniper rifle strapped to his back, and suddenly I know what he's here to do. The realization hits me like a ton of bricks, knocking the breath from my lungs. He's hunting the crew. I won't let you hurt them. You won't hurt them. I won't let you. I steel my voice, clenching my hands into fists at my side. Vex smirks, his face lighting up in a way I used to know so well. How do you think you're gonna stop me? Any way I can. I stare him down through narrowed eyes, determination flowing thick in my veins. I thought I didn't have anyone left to protect, but I realize now that I was wrong. I have 6 of them. Vex smirks, sensing the change in me. Oh well, look who's finally fighting back. Took you long enough. No, you don't get to speak to me like that, not after what you did. His face falls, his eyes flaring wide. Something strange passes across his face, and for a moment I feel like I'm staring at a memory. But why did you do it? Why did you work for him? Just tell me that much. My voice cracks in the last words, tears stinging behind my eyes. Tell me! Lightning flashes and thunder booms overhead, and it takes all I have not to flinch at the wave rumbles through the building surrounding us. Something above Vex shifts in an instant. His eyes harden, his jaw goes tight, and when he speaks, his voice sounds as though it belongs to a different being entirely. Long live the king. Gritting my teeth, I prepare myself for my next move until something catches my eye. 2 figures emerge from the shadows behind Vex, and immediately they're on them, fighting to remove his weapon. He managed to land a hit on one of them, striking them square in the shoulder. Before I can blink, they have him on his knees, his hands restrained behind his back. Are you hurt, Solaris? Rihanna steps close to me, checking for injury, while Damon rubs at his shoulders, glaring down at Vex before realization dawns on him. This is a surprise. Indeed. I see you're still alive and kicking, Carrot Head. Didn't expect to see you around person anytime soon, stab happy. Rihanna scoffs as Damon hoists Vex to his feet, keeping a wary eye on him. Figured you'd be friends with a chimeric scumbag. This is Vex. I've worked with him before, but I have no idea how these two know each other. Damon throws me an inquisitive look, and Vex laughs. All 3 of us whip towards him. Chimeric scumbag, huh? You haven't told them about me, have you, Your Highness? Damon and Riona glance between the 2 of us curiously and give them a guilty look. I have, but I didn't tell you the whole truth. This man was my royal guard, but he also betrayed my entire family in the Zovak. In an instant, Riona pulls Damon's gun from its holster, pointing it at Vex's head. We should end him before he gets anyone else killed. Damon puts his hands up in an attempt to calm the Talari. We put that down now. I mean, I kind of want to choose this just because Damon has the funniest fucking reaction to it, but no, we won't. I put my hand on Riona's arm, slowly lowering the weapon. No, I'm sure there's a way he'd be useful to us. He works for Zovac after all. We can discuss what to do him later. Give me the gun. Defeated sigh, Riona hands over the blaster. Let's get out of here. Damon takes the comm from his pocket and tosses it to me. When I hold it upright, a holographic map displays the top, similar to Alyssa's map back at the bunker. Either way, be quick about it. But don't you know this place with the palm of your hand? Yes, but someone needs to watch our backs. Not to mention this extra bag of carrots I have to drag along. Use Vex and not so gentle slap in the back for giving me a lazy smirk. And apparently you're our newest navigator. Consider this your tryout. Hi. Using the comm as a guide, I lead us all through the winding alleys and back to the main street we had come from. There are considerably less people hanging around, with the remainder disappearing by the second. Sorry. After a while, I look back over my shoulders, make sure the others are still following. Another sight catches my eye further back. The others sense my distress, following my last sight to see the figures cloaked in backs descending on us. The Chimera are coming. Hurry! I glance at the comm to make sure we're on the right course. When I feel a tug on my sleeve, I turn, finding the same child from earlier staring back at me. He doesn't say a word. Instead, he indicates with a hand to follow us before he disappears into the darkness of a nearby alley. We're following that child. Instinctively, I follow him, letting the darkness of the alley swallow me up like a hungry beast. Where are you going? Riona takes me by the arm, and I turn, fixing her with a firm look. I think he's trying to help us. We should go. They're going to be on us any minute. Riona looks unconvinced, but Damon gives her a subtle nod. I start down the alleyway, only to be stopped in place by a voice near my ear. Don't worry. Trust your gut. Smile at him. It's impossible to stop my smile from spreading. I won't let you down. Damon lets out a breathy laugh, already stepping back. I know you won't. So cute. With a nod, I lead us down to an alley, using nothing but the subtle glow from the comms light our way. The giggle echoes through the dark, terrifying. Somewhere off to the left, and I follow it. We wind through the darkness, silence descending around us, and the threat of the Chimera falling behind. I see nothing except when lightning flashes overhead, lighting the way. The darkness is unnerving, and I find myself moving closer to Damon, his shoulder brushing against mine. With the next flash of lighting, I take a chance to glance at Vex, who gives me a sly smile. If I didn't know any better, I think he'd be perfectly happy being led through the streets of Cursa at gunpoint. He hasn't tried to fight it, at least. Another childish giggle echoes towards us, and the next time we turn the corner, it's to find the small boy standing in the opening of the street, the enormous factory-like bunker frame behind him. The others shove Vex ahead, and I crouch down next to the boy and meet him eye to eye. Thank you for helping us. He smiles toothfully and nods at me before scampering off and disappearing back into the shadows. With a smile of my own, I follow the others into the bunker. Alright, we're back in one piece with an extra crew member. We make it back just in time, flying to the doors in the enormous building, catching our breaths as they're closed in the streets behind us. That wasn't supposed to take this long. Shit happened. Clearly. Alyssa regards Vex with cold eyes, lingering on the makeshift restraint around his wrists. I'll take this as shit. The name's Seraph, actually. Oh, I know who you are, Vex Seraph. The question is, what are you doing on my turf? And Vex says nothing, his smirk growing wider still. Alyssa takes a step forward and glares up at him. Then she grabs by the front of his jacket, forcing him down to her height. You should consider yourself lucky Reznor got his hand on you first. I don't appreciate chimera trash of the planet. Your planet? Oh, you're cute. She pulls him even closer, eyes narrowing into thin slits when Vex twitches under her touch, though his expression remains unchanged. Huh. Weird. I notice it too. I glance between them, wondering what they've noticed that I clearly haven't. Alyssa studies Vex a moment longer before she shoves him backward, ignoring him completely as she addresses us. Cal's waiting for you on the ship. The CD's already installed. We're just helping out with some maintenance before you leave. I assume you have something for me? Damon leans on Alyssa's shoulder, his lazy grin twin to her own as he crooks a finger at Riona, who simply rolls her eyes and purses her lips. Oh, come on now, Ree. No need to pout. Don't tell me you didn't have fun out there. I think our definitions of fun are vastly different. Doesn't look like you had too much trouble. Barely perfect pretty hair out of place. She's just being stubborn, Lisa. Ree knows how to have fun. Riona's eyes narrow at the pair patiently, and I take a cautious step back as Alyssa looks at Solari up and down. Are you sure about that? Oh yeah. Would you two quit it? Having one Damon around is bad enough. We don't need a clone. Damon and Alyssa snicker as Riona hands over the column and huffs at the pair of them. Much appreciated, ma'am. Don't call me that. Yes, ma'am. Riona throws her hands in the air and walks off towards the ship, the duo clearly taking great joy in teasing the medic. Now I need to tend to this. Don't forget to pick up your trash on the way out. Yeah, let me take care of this and I'll be back in a few. Alyssa twirls the column between her fingers, watching Damon drag Vex away with curiosity. I start to follow, but then pause, turning to our host. Do you really plan on breaking the truce after Chimera are gone? It's a bit more complicated than that. I want to know what happened to these people. Yes, but I want to know what will happen to these people. One day they might be my responsibility. We're no one's responsibility but our own. Cursa belongs to no one. I'll be damned if I let Zovac, Pegasi, or any fucking council try and take advantage of us again. Her eyes freeze me in place with glacial determination, a far cry from the brazen flirt I'd seen earlier. Alyssa speaks like a leader and both terrifies me and intrigues me to imagine how far I'd be willing to go to defend our planet. And how do you plan on doing that? Independence. Independence from the monarchy, you mean? Exactly. And Zane agrees with this? She gives me a knowing smirk, a certain glint in her eyes. You will. I raise an eyebrow at her, my curiosity piqued. Hang on, are you two? Don't ask, it's complicated. We both chuckle at that. Alyssa sighs, turning to face me with bright, uneven eyes. Complicated seems to be a thing with people like us, huh? What do you mean? I could tell something's going on with you. Something on your mind a tad too much lately? Or rather, someone? I mean, we could. Yeah! There's no route for Alyssa, but I think it's funny that Dolores has a crush on her. A smile twists my lips, and I let my eyes rake over Alyssa's perfect figure. I see. Can you really play me? Alyssa laughs, crystalline but low, as she steps closer and takes my chin in her cold, slender fingers, looking at me with mesmerized, hooded eyes. I'm flattered, but I've already got my hands full. Feel free to hit me up if you ever go aboard of that crew, though. I'm sure we'd be good friends. My cheeks burn as she winks at me before stepping back. Anyone else caught your eye? No. I shrug. Also, this is not the choosing your own adventure. This is not the relationship choice that happens in chapter 5, but you get some special dialogue if you do choose one of them, sort of at the end of the chapter, I think. Especially if you choose Damon in the way she talks to him afterwards. But no, there's no one. I shrug, pursed my lips at her question. Nobody, I see. I guess not. Sorry. No need to be sorry. I ain't ever seen anyone need a partner in life to be happy. You should never feel like you need someone other than yourself. Don't worry. You're safe with me. Thanks. I believe her for some reason. I don't really see her striking up a conversation with anyone in the crew to chat about my love life or lack thereof. Maybe only Damon, but I also don't believe he would care so much. You should get going. I'm pretty sure Cal is going to be freaking out over Carrot Head. I'll check out the maintenance and we'll let you know when it's all good to go. Shouldn't be much longer now. Nice meeting you, Your Highness. Her tone when she says my title isn't sincere, but it's not threatening. I'd say she really just holds no regard for the royal family, and when after I've seen Cursa, is it really fair to me to judge her? Alyssa walks off to the other side of the ship, and I make my way there as well. My feet are sore, and my clothes are drying off in weird places, and I can't wait to get them off. I head back to the ship for a much-needed break, grabbing pieces of fruit from the kitchen area and devouring them on my way to my room. After showering and changing the fresh clothes, I wander out of my room in search of something to do next. Surely we must be leaving soon now that the CD is installed and ready to go. I've just stepped off the ship when the muffled sound of conversation catches my attention. The voices are familiar, and I follow them to a pile of crates, peeking between them for a better look. Curiosity prickles my skin when I notice it's Sam and Alyssa talking on the other side. Odds are they already know I'm here, but then again, it's not like they seem to be trying to have a private conversation given how open the area is. We're totally eavesdropping, are you kidding me? I might as well listen in. I think as I shift into a better position, Damon slides something into his pocket and I only catch the end of Alyssa's sentence. Easy enough. Thanks, I appreciate the help. Did you also look into him for me? Carrot Head was, I don't know, he's always been weird, but not like that. Yeah, I noticed. I'll ask around, don't worry. You do know you owe me, right? Somehow I always owe you something. Then it's a good thing I always need something done. They laughed together, looking more at ease than they've been earlier, Damon even more so. Still, So, still sticking around with the Anubia 6 for a while? You sound like you've been spending too much time talking with Oppo. They're rubbing off on you. What can I say? They're good for gossip. That's how she knew about me. Damon starts, and I only have to guess to know how Alyssa found out about me. But yeah, I guess. Still Cal. Can't leave him on his own now. You do know he doesn't keep you around just for that, right? And the things would be a lot easier if you stopped acting around them like you're still in Cursa. Aren't I though? I am, but you're not. You don't need to come back here, ever. Take the CD, the crew, leave this damn place behind, and don't look back, Damon. Damon lets out a breathy laugh, leaning around the crates and pulling her close by the hand, wrapping an arm loosely around her waist. Let that asshole have you? Nobody owns me. Don't I know it? But seriously, Zane of all people around here? What? He's hot. It has nothing to do with our hatred to each other. Besides, it makes for a great... I don't want to hear it. Do my eyes deceive me, or is Damon Reznor jealous? I can scarcely believe my eyes when I see the soft blush that tints his cheeks and the tip of his ears. Damon, the cold-blooded assassin with feelings? Now this is getting interesting. Also, his blush bright, it's so cute, for real. I shift my weight on my feet, biting down a laugh as I watch Damon struggle to keep it together under Alyssa's merciless teasing. It seems as though there actually is someone who can one-up Damon. This is adorable. I almost forgot how your ears turn beet red when you blush. I am not jealous, it's just gross. You've been gone 2 years, Damon. I'm sorry. I tried to leave like you told me to, yet you're still here. You know I can't leave. Someone has to. I know. Just saying, I don't think I'd leave you behind, Lisa. You should. How? The minute I turn around, you decide it's a good idea to start dating that asshole. Dating is definitely not the right word. Sleeping with him doesn't make it any better. Oh, we definitely don't sleep. I swear to God, Alyssa, I'll trust me and do nothing. I still need that asshole to drive the Chimera away. Fine, but he doesn't need to put his nasty hands on. Alyssa shuts him up with a finger over his mouth, shoulders twitching with poorly contained laughter. Tell you what, if when you're done helping the crew you still feel this way, I'll be waiting. Promise. No, Zane. I promise that too. That's 2 promises you don't have to make. You don't owe me shit. Guess now I do. Damon, I know. Me too. Damon sighs, leaning down until their foreheads are touching. They close their eyes, just staying there for a minute, some unspoken conversation only they are privy to. I look away for a moment, giving them privacy. It's sweet how time and distance seems to have no effect on their feelings. Will you stop being a prick to your friends? There's no need to keep your guard up all the time with them. Just be nice. I know, it's complicated. No, it isn't. Here's what I want you to do. Next time you're not sure if your next words are obnoxious or not, ask yourself, would Alyssa kick my ass for this? She pokes his head, almost missing when he ducks out of the way. Stop poking me! And promise to be nice. I'll try. Alyssa narrows her eyes as if considering whether she believes him or not, apparently settling on yes for an answer. She puts down her hand, smiling when he shakes his head at her. I'll ask one of my people to tell Blondie Locks and the maintenance is almost done. Care to help me out with my office? Damon starts with the nickname. I dread being there to see the moment when Damon calls Calderon that, but I'd also hate missing it. Your office, huh? Is that what it's called around here now? Oh no, but you said you'd be willing to help me. Bet your ass you're helping me move some old boxes of tech. Fine. What sort of gentleman would I be if I refused? Alyssa rolls her eyes at him, turning to lead the way, but Damon pulls her back, wrapping his arms around her once again. Hey, Alyssa, thank you for everything. You don't need to thank me, dummy. Yeah, I do. Damon kisses her forehead, running his fingers through his hair to tilt her head up so he can look her in the eye. I missed you. I missed you too, and also... Damon's cheeks flush again, his eyes dart to Alyssa's lips, and when she smiles back at him, I step back. I turn away, giving them some privacy. I'm happy Damon's has someone he cares for like this, as she seems to care about him just as much. It's still a bittersweet feeling watching them say their goodbyes, unsure of when or even if they'll see each other again. As quietly as possible, I move away from the crates, making my way further into the bunker. I stepped in the corner and stopped by the window, watching the prison dust crew celebrating amongst themselves. The tree's been sealed, and though I'm sure the road ahead will be tough, it's a small victory. Oh. Solaris? A voice pulls me from my solitude, and when I turn, it's to find June striding toward me, his long legs making quick work of the distance. Scary! We've barely seen each other since our last conversation, and though I assumed he'd been trying to avoid me, it certainly doesn't seem that way now. I don't say anything as he approaches, but I note the way he struggles to meet my eyes, and it stings a little. We talk? It's just what I asked you. Of course. He needed time, I get it. He leans against the window, his tawny hair falling from his eyes. He fixes them on the ground. I just wanted to say, I shouldn't have pushed you away. I know you weren't to blame for what happened to me. I was overwhelmed. He shakes his head and scoffs as though that wasn't exactly what he was trying to say, and wait patiently for him to speak again. The truth is, there's no excuse for the way I acted. Learning who you are opened doors I spent a long, long time trying to close. It brought memories to the surface I never wanted to face again, and He chokes on the word, his face anguish. I took it out on you, and I'm sorry. I'm so sorry, Solaris. I have to apologize. He hurt me, but I find it difficult to continue blaming him, given what he seems to have gone through. June, you don't have to apologize. I understand. You're far too kind, Solaris. I've never done anything to deserve someone like you in my life, and I'm afraid you don't understand as well as I should have ensured. Can you let me explain myself to you? I think you deserve to know. Okay. June attempts to smile, the effort lost between a wave of misery that washes over him. I told you about the labs. What I didn't tell you was... He falters, trembling fingers fiddling with the bracelet on his right wrist. Yeah. His eyes glisten with unshed tears. He's dragged into what I can only assume are his own memories. Terrifying memories. I know that your family hasn't made you who you are. I can see that from the moment I met you. But for me, it's different. He hesitates, his jaw clenching tight as he summons whatever strength he needs to continue. I was one of them. You... what? One of the experiments. His chin trembles. His breath growing ragged as though he was in physical pain. I dig my fingernails into my shaking palms to keep myself steady, to give him time to talk. I never had a childhood or any life on Orion. My entire existence had been confined to a lab, and existence mapped out from the first breath I took. The only joy I had was my brother, Julian. I call him Jules. We were twins in every way, except one. Our endurance. Daily, we were exposed to the substance they pulled from the mines, subtly at first, when we were too young for more invasive procedures. Less subtly as we grew older and more resistant to the drugs. I could take it, for some reason. My body reacted quickly, easily adapting to whatever they put me through. My muscles were stronger, my reflexes were faster, my motions more easily controlled. Jules, he couldn't. My heart shatters when June lets out a strangled sound, and I was terrified as the tears spilled down his face. He couldn't take it. I was so easily controlled, so easily tamed, but he wasn't. They crafted me into a monster. The blood that runs through my veins is tainted with Orionite, my very existence poisoned by its presence. I'm stronger, faster, deadlier than any human, but that's because I'm not human anymore. They ruined my brother to turn me into this thing. He half turns, leaning back against the window and taking a deep, shuddering breath. He was good with his hands. Creative, funny. Jules was the kindest soul I've ever met. I was a strong one, but it was he who had my back. It was Jules who held me as I struggled with my own mind. It was Jules who ignored his own sickness to make sure I was looked after. Jules lowered his head, running his fingers down slowly over the bracelet on his right wrist, a sad smile cracking to the constant flow of tears down his cheeks. He's so sad. These bracelets are his handiwork. I took his when he died. He stares off into the distance, his mind and memories far, far away from here. June. He never saw the outside of the lab, never had any friends, never found love. His life was never his. He never even had a chance. June breaks apart completely, a sob tearing from his lips, and he buries his face in his hands. His whole body shakes with every heartbreaking sob, every breath fractured in the weight of his own memories of his twin. I hesitate, not knowing how to help him. How could I possibly do to ease his pain? I hug him, of course we do. I don't think before I act. Stepping closer, I wrap my arms around the sobbing man in front of me and hold him tight. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. He doesn't reply, instead wrapping his arms around me in return. His body shaking against mine with every breath he takes. He bursts his head on my shoulder, and I realize I'm crying too, and I feel the warm tears slowly trailing down my cheeks. This is the worst spray in the game. It's so sad. It's so heartbreaking. It breaks my heart every time I look at it. Neither of us feel, I just feel so bad for him. Oh my god. Neither of us speaks for a while. The only sound surrounding us the cries that still fall from his lips and the whispered words of sorrow that pass mine. How could this ever have happened? How could my family let their people be treated like experiments? All the suffering, all the misery. I wish I could hug the hurt away from him. I wish I could tear his pain out of him and swallow it myself, if only to let him smile for a day. He settles eventually, his sobs calming as Lee finally catches his breath. His tears still stain my shoulders, but his body no longer shakes in despair. Can I ask you something? Yes. Oh, what about your parents? You mentioned them before, but they They were the scientists who experimented on us. What? A broken sound escapes him, almost like a bitter laugh. His arms tighten around me as if he needs something to keep himself grounded, to keep his mind clear. Yes, we were born for the sole purpose of being their experiments. They actually started while Jules and I were still in the womb. They never loved us, never cared about us, anything other than another experiment. They never even named us. We were just a bunch of numbers. Then where did June and Jules come from? Jules named me first. Juniper was the label under a picture of a plant he had seen around the lab. I didn't quite get it at first, but then I learned of a comet so bright it lit up the sky, so full of life. Its name is Julian. We shortened them after a while. Oh, I'm actually crying. But it was our own little secret. We were more than just numbers and data, if only to each other. June pulls back and still holds me by my arms, his lips trembling, his eyes meet mine. All I see him in is fear. Fear of what he might see in mine after his reveal. You see now what I truly am? The monster Solaris. I've been one since I was born. Nonsense. June, you're the kindest, bravest, gentlest soul I've ever met, and I will never let you believe otherwise. You are my friend, a dear friend of mine. You saved my life when you didn't even know me. You protected me countless times ever since. You're not a monster, June. June shakes his head, but his eyes soften ever so slightly. You're far too kind to me, Your Highness. My name is Solaris. A low chuckle escapes him, and he squeezes me once more affectionately. Lovely name indeed. It's also sweet, because I also think Solaris named himself. I don't know, just like choosing your own name. A deafening sound goes off, snapping us out of the moment. What was that? June turns around, his eyes wildly scanning the hideout. He traces the tears he shed are gone in an instant, his demeanor shifting into one of anger. They're under attack. Stunned, I rush to the window to see for myself. The Crimson Dust are quick to retaliate, all of them running for their weapons and immediately moving towards the invaders. With a chill, I recognize the uniform, the symbol shining on their shoulders. Hey, Mary. Fuck. We need to get you out of here. Come with me and don't run off, okay? June waits for me to nod before taking off the dock. Quick to follow, our footsteps barely audible against the battle sounds from outside. June and I halt on the docks, horrified to see the chaos reigning inside the doors to the Crimson Bunker. Bash hurries to free cords and equipment that have been attached to the ship with the help of part of the Crimson maintenance crew. Calderon barks orders at Briona as they leave the storage room in a rush. The glimpse of vexed legs visible for a moment, the moment before the door slides closed. Aya barely pays me attention, running up the stairs towards Bridge with Briona on her heels, and Calderon jogs towards June and I. God, I swear to God, I can speak normally. It's like we had the cold read Shakespeare in class. What happened? The Chimera breached Crimson's perimeter. The rats are inside the walls. But how'd they get into the bunker? Crimson keeps their door in the main room open for Chris to take shelter if they need it. You mean there were innocents caught in the crossfire? And where's Damon? Calderon doesn't reply immediately, his hands twitching over his blasters. He's helping them. He should be back soon. We have to do something. We have to help them. We can't. What? Why? Calderon and June exchange a glance, and I know the answer before they even say it. It's clear both of them want to help, but no, they can't. We can't risk you. Fuck. It's possible they may have recognized you during the fight. If Zovac has them hunting for you, so the best thing we can do for Crimson right now is leave before they cause too much damage. The crew is getting the ship ready. We're leaving as soon as Damon comes back. Like clockwork, hurried steps echo up the ramps to the dock, and we turn to find Damon and Alyssa heading towards us. How are things out there? Bad. We're holding them off, but there are too many civilians in the way. I wish we could stay and help, but... What do you mean you wish? I'm not leaving. Damon, it's okay. I've got this. But backup is on its way, we'll be fine. You know this ain't my first rodeo. Alyssa squeezes Damon's arm with a tight-lipped smile before addressing Calderon. I'll make sure none of them are following you from land, but I can't vouch for the fleets that are likely already surrounding Cursa. If we head back to Nyx, there's an untracked route to be used for smuggling. Once you hit hyperspeed and activate the CD, they won't have any hope of following. Sounds risky. We've only just repaired the ship. We don't know how she'll handle it. You won't know until you try. It's the best chance you have to getting out of here. I know the way. I can navigate. Very well. June, have the guns ready just in case, and have Bash double-check shields and have the CD ready to go. June nods, taking off in a hurry. I trust the CD won't fail us? Well, on my word, Cal. That little beauty will do the trick. Calderon narrows his eyes at her, but seems to trust her. Alyssa glanced in the direction June is headed off in before turning to the captain. You have a clear lane, ending somewhere around Orion. I'm sure the location's not your first choice, but I don't think it'll be such a bad idea to make a pit stop. Here's Zovac been re-upping the assets on the planet. You don't mean the guard. Oh, but I do, and I think we both know what he's using the planet for. My blood runs colder at words. After learning what I just heard from June, I am actually not looking forward to visiting Orion. But if Zovac is using it to hurt even more people, then maybe, just maybe, there's something we can do to help. I'm just saying, if any of you is particularly fond of fireworks, there's some pretty interesting landmarks to light up around there. You might want to check your cargo hold, if you feel like it. Consider it my apology for the trouble you've run into on Cursa. Calderon stands straight as a rod, an unreadable expression on his face. Damon, I know you want to stand help, but I need your help. Damon's eyes widen. Calderon has always been the one to order Damon when he acted out before, but this had been an order. This is someone asking help from a friend. Solaris, join us on the bridge. Yes, Captain. A loud noise draws our attention back outside, and heavy footsteps pound up the ramp. Can't believe you started the party without me. Oh, you've got to be kidding me. Zane makes his way over to us, the Azure Dawn joining forces with the Crimson Dust just outside to fight the Chimera, a testimony to the truce the two gangs had agreed on. He gives me a knowing look, winking before he grins at Alyssa, an enormous weapon the size of a rocket launcher strapped to his back and a pistol at his side. Barging in ain't really classy of you, is it? When you're packing the big guns, sometimes a grand entrance is warranted. Trying to overcompensate, Zane? This is really the time. Damon and Zane both shut up, the latter clearing his throat loudly. Zane, I need you to take the lower floor. I'll take my crew upstairs and work away in the middle so we can squash these filthy roaches once and for all. Sounds fun. I'll meet you halfway and then. Mercs, Damon, sing around. With a quick nod, Zane leaves, barking orders his crew as he joins the fight. Damon, you should get going now. Damon turns to her, his features twist in a mix of emotions I can't pinpoint. I don't want to leave you. Starting out with him as backup. Please, I can handle Zane in my sleep. I'd rather you didn't. Don't make me shoot you again, you have your sorry ass out here. Friends need you, Damon. You have to go. I know, Alyssa. Don't die on me now. Alyssa smiles at Damon before she shrugs, not making many promises. She spells Calderon and I a nod before heading off. He barely notices when Calderon lays a hand on his shoulder, giving his second a soft look as he watches Alyssa leave. Leave in 5. Meet us on the bridge. Damon sighs, forcing himself to turn toward the ship. I'll be there. I've never seen Damon so shaken up, yet so loyal to the crew he'd be willing to let Alyssa go without so much as a proper goodbye. It's odd to see him act so vulnerable. Let's go, Solaris. We make our way upstairs to find the ship ready to go as the crew finishes the preparations. I listen intently to Calderon's instructions for departure, her smile widening at the challenge the route advised by Alyssa poses. I take a seat and buckle in, staring at the navigation screen in front of me. Ready for your navigation crash course? What now? I'm kidding. No way I'm letting a newbie guide me through this time around. It's too dangerous. But keep an eye on the monitor. Best way to learn is by seeing it all firsthand. I'll ask you to keep all the questions until after we've lost our tail, but feel free to take notes. I faces forward in her seat, focusing on the takeoff when Bash's voice rings out in the comm device. We're good to go here, Captain. Shield's A-OK, and the setup on the CD, boy, it could go on for days. Jude's on standby with the guns, and Damon's got the docks sealed off. Ready for takeoff. Everyone, we're taking off. Prepare yourself for a bumpy ride. Darren gives me a sharp nod, and I turn to focus on the screen in front of me, determined to absorb as much information as I can. The ship roars to life around us, the speed in which we take off pushing me back in my seat. Just like that, we leave Cursa, rushing into the vast dark expanse of space. Damon hits the panel beside the storage room, and when the door opens, we're met by the strange, slow smile of Vex's leaning against the back wall. We've made it off the planet safely, and now find ourselves needing to take care of a little problem before we get much further. Damon steps forward, Bash lingering aside for support. Finally, we get to catch up, Sarah. Vex leans against the side wall, seemingly unfazed by the entire ordeal. I've been saying I would look forward to it, Reznor, but that'd be a lie. Damon snickers, stepping forward towards the redhead while Bash and I hang back near the door. I glance nervously at Bash to find his red eye fixed on Vex, glowing intently. I wonder what he's seeing right now. So Zovak pinned the task of sniping us on you. He sure does love giving you all the shitty jobs, doesn't he? I'd say he gives me the easy ones, but I'm not complaining. Vex's eyes settle on me and my chest tightens, bile rising my throat. Damon huffs and laughs, a shadow darkening his features. Yet you failed anyway. What a surprise. Sarcasm drips from his words, thick and deliberate, though Vex only smiles at me wider, and uneasiness settles in my gut. So what else is following us? If you tell me, I'll make it a quick death. Vex doesn't answer, instead keeping his eyes locked on mine. As much as I want to look away, I can't. The smile fades from his lips, replaced with a dark stare, but there's something strange about his eyes. Something hard and unnatural. Damon looks between the two of us before clicking his time, waving a hand at me. You're a distraction. You need to leave. But nothing. Bash? Come on, Solaris. With an apologetic look, Bash ushered me from the room, letting the door close behind us. One step aside, I lean against the wall and fold my arms around my chest, too annoyed to say anything. Doesn't seem to matter though, as Bash keeps his bionic eye fixed firmly in the storage room, and I'm sure he could see everything that's happening inside. I vaguely wonder if he could have seen inside my room while leaving his drawings attached to my door, but I quickly dismiss the thought. Bash is one that invades someone's privacy like that. We wait in silence for a few long minutes before the door finally opens and Damon emerges, his face like thunder. No luck then? No bloody luck is right. For someone who used to love running his mouth, he's learned how to keep it shut at the worst of times. Damon runs his hand through his dark hair, letting out a heavy breath. Try again later, and next time I'll be less friendly. I need to talk to him. I move toward the room, but Damon shoots an arm out, stopping me. Are you kidding me? We'll be moving you in that room in a body bag. He's Sovak's dog. You don't know him like I do. And you don't know him like I know him. He's dangerous. I can get him to talk. He might talk to me. What do you need to know? No, absolutely not. You're not going in there. Yes, I am. You said it yourself. You need that information. Well, this is how you're going to get it. Damon looks at Bash for backup, who simply shrugs and throws me an impressed smile. You two are just as bad as the other. If it works, it works. How badly do you need the information? Damon reins his anger in, speaking through gritted teeth. We need to know if anyone else is coming for us. Easy. He stops me in place while as I move forward, giving me a severe look. One of us should go with you. No, I'll do it alone. Damon and Bash exchange a look, seeming less than happy by the prospect. Fine, but things go south. That's on you. He won't hurt me. I move towards the door, and this time Damon doesn't stop me. I have every intention of finding out what Damon needs to know, but there's more I want to hear from Vex. Stealing my nerves, I take a deep breath before stepping into the room. I need to know why he did what he did if I have any hopes of healing from this. It takes a moment to look at Vex after the door slides shut behind me, locking us in together with an ominous click. He sits back against the wall, his face blank, devoid of any emotion, any indication that he sees me. A bitter taste settles in my mouth. You alright? Vex, are you alright? Oh, look. It decided to send my last meal already. Lucky me. He completely ignores my question, but his reply seems half-hearted. I ignore the nausea that builds in my stomach, but this isn't time for that. I asked to talk to you, alone. Another stupid move. Congratulations. Even more stupid of them out there, but I guess I shouldn't be surprised. They were against it, but I know you. I know you. Everyone thinks they know everybody. Things haven't quite worked out as Reznor planned, have they? He doesn't know you like I do. Neither of you know me. His fist strikes the wall behind him, and I jump, startled by his sudden outburst. I struggle to keep myself steady, to understand how this man in front of me that I once believed was my friend can now be so different. What did you say to get Damon all riled up like that? It's easy to get to if you know what buttons to press. It takes a lot to do that. You'll have to ask him. I never rat out an old friend. It didn't seem to stop you before. He scoffs, cutting short whatever he was feeling just moments ago. He doubles over, his eyes shut tight as his breathing increases by the second as though he was in pain. He struggles against the bonds against his wrist, his skin going pale and sickly. Help him. I move before thinking, going to his side to help him sit back up. He feels feverish, his skin hot beneath his clothes. It's only now I see tiny beads of sweat on his skin. What? Sit back, let me help you. You don't look well, Vex. He leans his head back against the wall, breathing hard. It'd be easy to let myself fall back into his trap of thinking he cared for me. I try to steel myself against him and said, Better? Why do you care? Trust me, I've been asking myself that a lot. You shouldn't. Hurt flashes through his eyes, and he lets out a defeated sigh. It's just a headache, nothing to get sloppy over. I'm fine, Dolores. Because Vex is quick to interrupt me, any inkling of emotion disappearing in his face in an instant. I need to ask you some questions. As you wish, Your Highness. Sarcasm coats his word, but it's a strange change in expression that makes you pause. One moment he's overflowing with anger, the next his eyes are drowning in sadness, and I can't quite figure out what's going on with him. What happened to the playful, cocky boy from my past? Are there any other chimera looking for the crew? I don't know. Yes, you do. Maybe, maybe not. There could always be someone following you. Vex, please, I need to know if we're still at risk of being followed. He shrugs, his lips stretching into a smirk when he ignores my question. I let him sigh. It looked like Damon was right. I won't get anything out of him. I just have one last question. Why did you do it? What? Betray me, lie to me, use me. The smile fades, a storm raging in his eyes that I can't make sense of, but once again I'm met with silence. Frustration bubbles up inside me, and I slam my hand against the crate behind next to him. Can't you just be honest with me for once in your life? His lips twist into a scowl, eyes squeezing shut as he doubles over with a groan once again. I don't understand what's wrong with him, but this isn't the Vex I knew. I'm balling my shaky hands and fists at my sides. I blink repeatedly, holding back tears that threaten to spill. I can't cry, not now. Not in front of him, please. Are you okay? His question has me choking out a bitter laugh, the irony of it. Am I okay? No, I'm not. I haven't been okay for weeks, Bex. Because of you, I lost everything. I lost everyone. Hurt flashes over his features, and I'm glad for it. I hope he's hurting. I hope he feels even a drop of what I'm feeling right now. My eyes sting, and I quickly rub at them, trying to erase the tears before they spill. Bex keeps his eyes on me, the crease in his forehead deepening as he watches. I know you don't care about me, but I cared about you. I know there's something wrong with you. There has to be. My voice cracks in the last words, unwanted tears escaping despite my best efforts. The sharp breath Bex releases cuts straight through me. I don't know what happened to him, or what makes me so adamant that this is some sort of bruise. I just know that when he looks at me like that, it's impossible to believe otherwise. Just tell me one thing. Bex blinks, looking at me as though it was the first time. Where were you? In the weeks leading up to the coup, you disappeared without a word. Where were you, Vex? Glancing, Vex squeezes his eyes shut as another wave of pain washes over him, but I wait it out. I don't know. He bites out the words through strangled breaths as though they pain him too much to speak. Yet I believe him. And yes, there were others in my unit following your crew under my command. They most likely lost you by now. Getting the CD was a smart move. As long as you manage to take them off in Cursa, you should be safe. There are no other trackers on the ship. I'm surprised with how forthcoming he's suddenly being, but when he leans back against the wall breathing hard, I wonder if he maybe said that because he wants to be left alone. Giving a sigh, I make way through the door, but I let the crew know what Vex his head and ready to put whatever's going on behind me, if only for now. Solaris? I freeze, my hand hovering over the panel beside the door. Vex hasn't said my name like that in so long. The memories tug at my heart as I look over my shoulder, finding him still staring at the ceiling, his face unreadable. I never told him. What? Sovek. About you. My orders were to secure a way in and out of the palace. He didn't care how, so I never told him. A few weeks before the attack, he asked me, said I was different. I still didn't tell him. A myriad of emotions fight for dominance within him. His eyes shadowed by agony as he buries his face over his bound hands. What does that mean? Nothing, maybe. I don't know. Just, you should have shot me when you had the chance. He groans, his eyes cutting back to the ceiling with finality and says, conversation over, it's time for me to go. I try to push away this part of our conversation. Does it mean Zovak doesn't know about me? Or he didn't, at least. I don't understand any of it, and sadly it seems like I'm not getting any more out of him anytime soon. As I step through the door, the last thing I hear is a muffled voice ringing out from the back of the room. What's wrong with me? The door slides shut, and the weight of the encounter slides from my shoulders in an instant. What is wrong with you, Bex? Gathering all the strength left in me, I wave off Ash and Damon, telling them I need a minute before heading upstairs. I need the solitude. Bex's conversation has been tense, the mood swings, cryptic words, the sun back and forth. I don't know what to think of any of it. If nothing else, I'm sure the crew will be happy to know we're not being followed anymore. I can deal with the rest of it later. I'm lost in thought as I make my way back to the bridge. I'm ready to report on what Bex had told me. It hadn't been much, but it's more than what we knew before. My gaze drifts out the window of the vast expanse of the universe beyond it, the whirring of the ship's engine the only sound around me, acting as white noise to try to muffle my screaming thoughts. Nice view, isn't it? Damon's voice startles me, my thoughts fading into smoke in his presence. Can't you walk like a normal person for once? It'd be nice to hear you coming. Damon snickers, and when I realize what I've said, I roll my eyes on him. Oh, grow up, I didn't mean it like that. Yeah, whatever you say. I fold my hands over my chest, giving an impatient look. Is there a reason you're disturbing me? The way he smiles makes it clear how much he enjoys teasing me. His grin slowly fades, however, and leans against the window with his hand in his pockets. I want to talk to you about something. Got a minute? If you want to know what Vex said, I was just on my way back to the bridge. It's not that. What is it? Things haven't been easy between us since I revealed who I am, so I can't help but wonder what he could possibly want with me. Catch. Gives me no time to think before he reaches into a pocket and tosses me something without warning. We'll fumble, but hold on. I bite my lip as I fumbly catch the object, almost dropping it 3 times before I secure my hands around it. Damon even try to hold back his laughter as he watches me. You rub butter on your hands or something? Didn't give me a heads up, and I caught it, didn't I? Barely. Damon shakes his head, amused by my lack of motor skills, and I give him a dry look. I ignore him, opening my hands and staring at the object in the center. My hands is the music box. My music box, the one I'd given him earlier today to sell. But I'll bet you thought it was long gone. I did. I asked you to sell it. Didn't need to. Go on, open it. In the center stands a perfectly rendered holographic ballerina, twirling on its own sad lullaby. I stared in disbelief, watching the tiny dancers spin round and round. The cogs turned like a well-oiled machine. The lights flickered before now shine brightly. I wasn't sure if that's what it was supposed to do, but it was the best I could do to fix it. No, it's perfect. A lump forms in my throat. Memories of Nurse flood my mind, forcing me to bite the inside of my cheek in order to hold back my emotions. But how did you pay for the CD if you didn't sell it? I have my ways. I don't know what he means by that, and I'm not sure if I want to. All I know is I have no idea how I'm going to pay him for this. Why did you do this? Damon sighs, rolling his shoulder and running a hand over the back of his neck. An apology. I shouldn't have said what I did about handing over the Zobak. The old me would have done it in a heartbeat, but I don't want to be the old me anymore. I want to be better than that. You could have said you were sorry. You didn't have to go through all this trouble. People who know me don't usually take my word for things like that. Words are cheap. But for what it's worth, I am sorry. Of course I'm accepting his apology. But you can eliminate several different routes. I think with June, Vex, and Damon, obviously. You can just completely eliminate the romance routes. A warmth spreads through me and a candle smile. This certainly is what I expected from Damon. Apology accepted. I suppose I'm looking forward to working with you from now on. Damon laughs at my reaction, shaking his head as he runs a hand through his dark, messy hair. Well, aren't you surprised? We are going to work together, like or not. I simply don't see the point of being on bad terms with each other. You know, as long as you don't offer to sell me out again. Don't worry, I don't sell my crewmates. We're gonna hug him. I can't stop myself. Closing the distance between us with a large step, I wrap my arms around him. What the? Thank you, Damon. His chest rumbles with laughter, and though I expect him to push me away, he hugs me back, rubbing my back softly as he holds me. Ooh, it's so cute! Oh, they're so sweet. I truly never expected to see this music box again. Yeah, it didn't seem like something you just sell for stupid ship parts, so I figured, why not? How did you even manage to get it fixed? I might have had some help. Melissa? Yeah, wow, did she ever give me crap for what I did or what? I smiled to recall the conversation between them. She really got to him by the looks of it. You can get pretty much anything on Cursa. She had a guy who knew a guy who could fix his fancy trinket. Try not to break it again, will you? I'm not making any promises. Damon's easy smile shifts into a mischievous smirk. Before I can step back, he tightens his hold on me with one arm, his other hand moving towards my waist dangerously slow. Oh no, I can see where this is going. Damon, don't you dare. He tries to tickle me, but I worm my way out of his reach with wide eyes while he cracks up in laughter again. Are you ticklish, Your Highness? You will never know. Challenge accepted. They're so cute. And the scene is different if you are, if you confess to Alyssa that you're into them, as is their conversation that you get to eavesdrop on. It is a different conversation all around. It's very cute. He glanced off to the side as he was about to lead us back to the bridge, but I reached for his arm, drawing his attention back to me. She'll be fine. What? Alyssa, I don't think you should worry too much. His expression wavers, eyes downcast, he lets out a joyless laugh. He doesn't say it, but I see the worry. Some things are easier said than done, Solaris. I know, but if you ever need to talk, I'm here for you. Thanks. It goes both ways. Oh. It's sweet. No, I do. This is why I love him. Like, because you start off and he's just such an asshole. But, as it kind of chips away and then you get, like, this, it wouldn't mean so much if he had been nice from the start, you know what I mean? And getting to see that character arc makes this moment, like, so much more rewarding. I don't know. I really do love Damon as a character. Shall we then? It's about time we head to the bridge. Pretty sure everyone's as curious as how your little chat with Carrot Head went. Why do you call him that? Now, I know you don't need me to answer that. Anyway, here we are. Damon opens the door to the bridge, stepping ahead of me. I pause and take in a deep breath before following him. The weight of my previous conversation with Vex crashing down on me again. It's time. The entire crew is gathered on the bridge when I enter. Damon heading over the sand with Calderon and June. I take a deep breath when I see them all turn to me, trying to ease my jittery nerves from the conversation with Vex that's still fresh in my mind. So, did you get anything out of that old friend of yours? And who exactly is he? Beneath the eyes of the crew, I decide it's best just to get it over and done with. He used to be my guard at the palace. He was one of the only people that bothered listening to me, spending time with me. We were friends. Lost to the time we spent together rushed to the forefront of my mind. Sneaking out of the palace, all the stories of his travels, the plans we made to visit all those places together, every joke and conversation we had, The ball he helped me sneak into? I saw my own words. We had a nice run, Vex and I, but now I have bigger worries on my plate. My feelings are long gone as far as I'm aware. I pushed the memories away. That was then, and this is now. He didn't tell me much, but I did learn we had been followed. He had a unit with him when he landed on Cursa, but odds are we've lost him now. We have the CD. There were no other trackers on the ship. Let out a breath, Vex's last words echoing in my mind. Anything else? My mouth goes dry, my chest tight with concern and endless doubts, but I can't lie to the crew. He said he never told Zovak about me. What does that mean? I'm not sure. He couldn't explain it. His job was to scout the palace, every in and out, regardless of the means. That's how he got assigned as a guard, but being assigned to me sounds like a coincidence, maybe. That would be true. Only the more prominent members of the family had specially assigned guards. No offense. Not taken. I'm all aware of it. He's not lying. Zovak never cared about the how as long as he got the job done. The ends justify the means at its finest. But if he never told Zovak about you, then how is it he knows you're alive and with us? I frowned, trying to piece it all together, grasping the straws. Something's off about Vex. Damon's words catch my attention, and I realize he's right. His eyes have been empty, his behavior erratic. He sounds like any other chimera who's come to me so far. No, there's something iffy there. Talk to Alyssa about it, and she's supposed to ask around for me. Do you have any idea what it could be? Damon nods, throwing a side glance at June before answering me. Zovak had this doctor he picked up on Cursa. A real creep, if you ask me. Got his rocks off by using people as lab rats. June tenses, but remains silent while Damon speaks. He and Zovak became close. Rumor has it they were working on something big. Wherever Zovak goes, he goes too. Odds are he's on Goldus with the king himself. How is this doctor related to Vex? Reeks of his work, stripping memories, feelings, emotions, turning subjects into empty puppets ready to be filled with a new identity. A couple of weeks before the coup, Vex disappeared. I asked him about it, but it's like he doesn't remember. And he seems to be struggling with his own emotions the way he goes from one to the other. I let my words hang in the air, the agony in his voice still echoing in my ears. Do you think he messed with Vex's biological structure? Would it justify his actions, Riona? Riona hesitates before speaking, furrowing a brow in thought. It might. It's extremely risky messing with a brain like that. An invasive procedure such as this might have serious risks and side effects, but I have to do some research before I can be sure. But if it worked, it could justify the gaps in his memory as well as any mood swings. If anything, that he has mood swings alone would serve as an indication the procedure wasn't perfect. He seems to be in pain. When I spoke to him, he seemed to be in pain. Damon and Riona exchanged a look, and even I wonder why I felt the need to add that. He hurt me. Why can't I just let him hurt as well? I can't tell, but it doesn't seem like it's fair to me to make that choice. If someone has mistakes to own up to, they should do it with a clear mind. Well, I don't particularly feel like helping a rogue chimera could be useful if he cooperates. And who knows? Maybe there's more to this than we know. Would you look into it, Riona? Of course. Just let me know as soon as you hear back from Alyssa on the subject. Any information helps. So excuse me, I'll get started on it now. Calderon nods at Riona, takes off the bridge in a hurry, already deep in thought. A seed of hope sparks in my chest. For what, I'm not sure, but I hope Riona finds something. Maybe then I'll be able to solve the mystery of Vex. Now that we've cleared that up, I want everyone to be aware of our status. We've successfully dodged the chimera tail, narrowly avoiding the range of a baby black hole, and are ready to engage hyperspeed thanks to my awesome skills. IMA. Sorry, what I mean is, we're safe now and ready for our next destination. The CD is working perfectly. State-of-the-art tech and can shield us from most of the raiders up there. As long as we don't run straight into anyone, we should be able to maneuver our way through chimera fleets. The downside is use a lot of power. We don't have the best engine in the system, so it's not going to last long. I'll spare the gruesome deep so suffice to say, we either find us someplace to land and recharge in about a week, or we'll be stranded in space. That sounds like a problem. Do we have a plan for what's next? We do. It's far from ideal, but it's the only option. Calderon nods at Damon, who quickly types something on the monitor next to him, and a large green and blue planet appears on the screen. We're going to Earth! Are you saying if we continue on our path, we'll end up somewhere near Orion? The silence that settled over the room is palpable, tension so thick it'd be cut with a butter knife. No, there has to be another option. We don't have another option. The closest stop we have is Orion. We'll need to refuel and prepare for whatever comes next. And what exactly do you plan on doing there? Just waltz in and take a rest? You know damn well it doesn't work that way. If you just calm down and let me explain, we're working on a plan. Jim doesn't respond. His face still twisted in frustration. He waits for the captain's explanation. Zovak has taken control of the Orionite mines and the labs that accompany them. I'm sure we all know what that means, what he's doing to his soldiers. I'm not sure, but after what I learned from June, I can hazard a guess. The prospect makes me shiver, and I need to face this head on. Once we're done here, I'll try asking for more information. The Crimson Dust snuck explosives into her cargo hold. While it's obvious how an attack on Zobek's Rhyonite will benefit them, I'm sure we can all see how it'll be beneficial for us as well. So, that's the plan. Breach Orion and start tearing evil from its roots. That sounds like a plan. Sounds like a good plan. It's the best we can do right now. We have to start somewhere, I suppose, and anything that cripples Zobek's rule has got to be worth it. Caldera nods, seeming pleased that I see the importance of such things. June still doesn't seem convinced, but the green glow disappears from his eyes, with nation taking hold of them instead. June, you understand the opportunity this provides. I do, but it doesn't mean I appreciate it. His voice falters, it seemed green flashed bright in his eyes for the briefest moment. Excuse me. We watch as the gunman leaves the bridge. It seems everyone knows of his past, a subject far too delicate for anyone other than the captain to try and dissuade him. We check on him? Of course. I leave the bridge swiftly, and I'm glad June won't be alone. I understand how hard it must be for him to go back to Orion, but it's what we must do. I can only hope he'll feel better soon. We need him. Oh, that was also touching. What the hell? A voice I'm far too familiar with echoes around us. Bash pales at the sound, completely caught off guard while Aaron scowls. Dame, on the other hand, seems close to laughter. Lovely plan, I must admit, but there's one tiny problem. Why is the voice coming from nowhere and not freaking you all out? What if it's a ghost? Because it's not coming from nowhere, it's coming from the comms. No ghost, just me. The door to the bridge slides open. Vex striding in and leaning against the doorframe, a smug smile curling his lips. Theron immediately has his hand on his blaster, but noticing Vex's arm, hesitates slightly. But weren't you, Sebastian, didn't you check his restraints? Of course I did. No, I shouldn't have trusted you to tie him up. Go downstairs to check the damage this idiot's probably done. Now. Bash sighs under the withering glare of Captain, dropping his head while quickly making his way outside. Listen, Vex is fucking wily. Don't blame Bash for this. Vex twirls a comm device in his hand, shrugging. I was minding my own business until I overheard you all prattling about like a bunch of schoolgirls. On our way to Orion, are we? We are. You are on your way back to your makeshift cell. Now, Cal, we should at least hear Carrot Head out. He's not entirely useless. What could he possibly have to offer us? I can get you onto Orion. Safely, I might add. Why'd you want to do that? Vex's eyes start to me, smirking his lips faltering. His eyes glaze over, but he shakes his head and focuses back on the captain and his second in command. I have personal business to attend to there. One that's best done without Zobek's knowledge. Going behind your master's back hardly makes you a trustworthy dog. He's not. Makes twist strangely and his eyes twitch. All of us, even Caldera, look at him with a mixture of concern and curiosity, watching warily as his jaw tightens and he seems to find out whatever is in his own mind before he speaks again. I have no master. A moment of silence passes, the captain silently weighing the pros and cons they offer. We'll discuss terms of this arrangement. Damon, he does not leave your sight. Yes, sir. Caldera glares at Vex, lips twisting into a snarl as he storms off the bridge. It takes me a heartbeat to realize I'm currently alone on the bridge with the two probably most deadly people on the ship. Thank you, Captain. Welcome aboard, Seraph. Alright, there we go. End of episode 4. It was definitely a long one, but really good one. I think, oh jeez Louise. I feel like I said this about one. I think this is my favorite chapter. It's very, very fun. But yeah, there we go. Orion MP3. We'll hit chapter 5 next time. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm having an absolute blast with this game. 2 more chapters until we're kind of caught up. And eventually we will not get Solaris. Eventually we will kind of be caught up with where the rest of the game is, and of course we will be picking up when episode 7 releases as well. But yeah, again, thank you so very much. No, whoops. We will save. Yes. And yeah, as for other things, Validate. Struggling Singles just released. It is on itch.io and Steam. I don't know go absolutely go check it out yourself. It is absolutely fantastic. I think it's on sale on Steam right now as part of its release, but it is so much fun. I played through the first route with Malik, and yeah, I highly recommend you go check that one out for yourself. And yeah, it is hilarious and really sweet and touching and goofy moments and just real. And yeah, it's really, really good. So yeah, go check out Validate on itch.io and Steam. And yeah, it's There we go. Yeah. And yeah, obviously Andromeda 6, also on itch.io. But yeah, we will be ending the stream there. Thank you so much for joining me. And yeah, have a good day. All right, bye.